respect each other's mental space. If you ever need me, just call. I'ma come running, give it my all. Love is love, God wins. Keep your vibrations high and watch how your blessings.
And
I was going to talk about this later, but I just want to talk about this now. I want to hear this.
And that's one of the things that I think a lot of times boys need is not just exposure to one guy.
Boys need not exposure to one guy, but a multitude of guys. Boy needs exposures. What the fuck is Barack Obama saying? Boys need exposure to more than one guy.
I don't know how.
What the fuck?
They do have uncles, brothers,
Right.
teachers.
But he's saying like, and look, Michelle Obama is like coaching him to say it. Like she knows what he's gonna say before he say it. It's like she's grooming him to say it. Like, watch how.
One dad.
See? One dad. You know what I'm saying? How are you saying his thoughts before he's saying them? How are you saying his thoughts before he's saying them? That boys need access to more than one dad. How? How are you giving boys a multitude of fathers?
We have one father.
No matter how good the dad is,
he can't be
like
everything.
he can't be everything.
Look, how is she saying his answer before him? How is Michelle Obama?
I mean, they are a married couple.
No. This is clearly fucking orchestrated. Like, I want you to come out there and say this. This is what I want you to say.
Yeah.
That's it. And she's making sure that he say it by reminding him what it is that she want him to say. Like, you know how somebody, like, you wrote them a script, but then they sound like they about to go off the script. So you'd be like, boys need one dad. Yeah, say, you know what I mean? Repeat after me. Like, that's what this is.
And then that boy may need somebody to give the boy some perspective on the dad.
Yeah.
You need another dad to give the boy perspective on the dad. Why do you need a perspective? Exactly. Why the fuck is another man there giving you perspective on your father?
That's not healthy for the family at all.
No. That's why I don't understand what Barack Obama is saying.
I mean, your uncles, yes, should take.
Nah. He specifically said more than one dad. He didn't say an uncle, a father figure, a masculine. He said boys need more than one dad. Well, I mean, this is
So one guy.
One guy.
dad.
Listen to their words.
Not just exposure to one guy.
One dad.
Listen.
One dad.
Not just exposure to one guy, right? Not just exposure to one guy. And we know that's never true because you got uncles. Some of your uncles may be flamboyant. You know what I'm saying? You got granddads. You got other members in the family that holds other titles that can be of a masculine energy. He's saying boys need access to more than one guy to teach them stuff. He's saying that he had a gay professor that groomed him. Barack Obama is telling that he had a gay professor that groomed him.
No matter how good the dad
is, he can't be
like
everything.
he can't be everything. And then that boy may need somebody to give the boy some perspective on the dad.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
One of the most valuable things I learned as a guy was
you see what he said? You see how he paused there, right? He was going to say, as a
Gay man.
exactly as a guy. One of the perspectives I learned as a guy. What was the hesitation there? What was it like? If I'm speaking about myself, I'm gonna be like, one of the things I learned as a man, there's not gonna be no fucking pause in between there. Like there was another option there. Like one of the things I learned as a cockroach, like what the fuck is the pause for?
I had a gay professor.
See? They keep on trying to say, oh, he was saying prideful men. No, he specifically said, I had a what professor? He didn't say I had a prideful professor. He didn't say I had a flamboyant professor. He didn't say I had a transgender professor. That motherfucker said I had a what professor? Come on.
In college.
In college.
At a time when openly gay folks still weren't outlawed. Who became one of my favorite professors and was a great guy and would call me out when I started saying stuff that was ignorant.
The professor that called you out when you were saying ignorant stuff. He made sure that you had an open whatever. Shut the fuck up.
You need that.
Now we all need a gay professor in our life. Barack Obama said we all need a gay professor in our life. This is an agenda. This is the world is one big stage type of agenda. This is an agenda. This is not normal.
To show empathy and kindness. And by the way, you need that person in your friend group so that if you then have a boy who's gay or non-binary or whatever, they have somebody that they can go, okay, I'm not alone in this. Right? So
wow.
Some of the definition.
He said you need this in your group so that way they can say I'm not alone in this. Well, by putting them in the group, you are actually grooming them because you're giving them that example to go by. You get what I'm saying? So if you're putting them in that group, that means this is the masculine, like this is the image of a man you want them to go by. So therefore, their image of a man is that. That's fucking grooming. That's grooming. Put them around somebody that can tell them about this stuff. That's grooming.
Yeah.
Definitions of manhood, I think, were negative, right? You don't whine, you don't cry.
No emotion.
You're not a jerk. I do like the thing you brought up, though, about being a protector, because for some reason, that part of it, I think, appealed to me. And at its best, it then counterbalanced the idea of being strong, right? Like, you're strong not to pick on people, right? Not to be a bully, not to dominate others. Instead, it's strength in order to protect. Right? And for me, a lot of being a man was being self-sufficient. The idea of I can handle myself and make my way through the world.
What?
I have no clue. That made no sense.
What?
What?
The idea of being a man is self-sufficient? Did he go back and listen to himself after he said this stuff? he had to go back and listen to himself and be like, damn, I fucked up. Like, you literally just told the world that you were groomed by a professor of yours. And literally, like, ironically, the same time that you had this professor is the same time you met Michael, who later changed their name to Michelle. So you're literally with a fucking guy that don't want to be acknowledged as a fucking guy, even though all the conspiracy theorists show that she was with you in the fucking army. Your kids ran away because you're not their real fucking parents. And now you're going to tell the world that every man, boy needs a gay professor. And you can't say that he didn't say that, because right after he said, after he told the story about his professor, he said, that's what you need. So you can't get it fucking misconstrued, because he said, I had this professor, and then he said, that's what you need.
It wasn't that he was talking about just another man or another person you can trust. He was talking about
A specific type of man.
So that you can say a specific type of secret.
Basically, you need somebody around that took a dick, just in case anybody get curious about taking a dick.
Right.
That's sick.
And it's untrue, because if one of my kids decided they wanted to go to, all they gotta do is come to me.
Yeah, but 9 times out of 10, a kid ain't gonna come to the dad with that shit anyway. A kid gonna go to the mom, because the mom is easier to talk to. The mom is the one that you share all your secrets to anyway. Dad telling you, you know what I'm saying, be tough, you know what I'm saying, pucker, you know what I'm saying, dad telling you stuff like that. Dad is enforcing the rules that mom is making. You know what I'm saying? 9 times out of 10, you're gonna go to the mom and tell the mom, like, can you see if dad is gonna be okay with this? Can you see if you can talk dad into this? Or can you see if dad, you know what I mean? Sometimes you'll go to the dad more, but that's when you have a certain rapport with your dad where you could just, you know what I'm saying, shoot the shit with him and be like, oh, dad, I'm thinking about doing this. What you think about it? You know what I mean? But 9 times out of 10, you're going to go to the mom to confide. Why? Because that's who, you know what I'm saying? You sucked on this woman titty. You know what I'm saying? So if you're going to confide in somebody, you might as well confide in the titty that you sucked on. You know what I mean?
Well, your mother's always going to love you no matter what you do.
Well, that too. But I mean, young boys need their father and their mothers. That's not what we talking about. This shit is disturbing, to say the least, because this says that the Democrats had an agenda this whole time. This right here, with Barack Obama saying this right here, this says that this was the Democrats' agenda the whole time, was to literally push this type of rhetoric. That's why it was so scary. That's why Africa was not allowing Kamala to come over there and push a certain narrative, because this was the Democrats' agenda the whole time. That's why they were saying, that's why, what you call was saying stuff like, we'll finally be able to crack that ceiling, all of that stuff, because they were attacking the laws of the cosmos. They were attacking the cosmic laws. That's why they're going after heterosexual men and natural born women, because this was the fucking agenda the whole time.
And that's one of the things that I think a lot of times boys need, is not just exposure to one guy.
One dad.
I want you to think about that. When first of all, when you got a boy, you're worried about how many girl partners your son is going to have, right? You're not sitting there talking about we need to expose them to more guys. Who thinks about their son like that? You're hoping that your son, you know what I'm saying, grows up to find somebody that he loves, something like that. you're not trying to open up the door for his exposure to guys. That don't even make sense. That he's telling you to open up your. Listen to this. Listen to this. This is we used to teach kids stranger danger, stranger danger. Now this motherfucker is telling you that your kid need a stranger around. Another guy outside of you that he can look at as dad. Think about that. Another guy outside of you that your son can look at as dad.
He could have called it a mentor. He could have called it
That's dangerous. That benefits predators. That benefits the people that preys on our kids. That benefit the ones who say, fucking come to my basement. I want to put you in a movie. All of that weird shit that's going on. That's who that benefits. That doesn't benefit the family. That doesn't benefit the household. That benefits the fucking predator that's on roadblocks right now trying to befriend our fucking kids. That's who that benefits.
Right.
The fucking adults that's sitting on roadblocks trying to be friends with our 12-year-olds and shit. And that's what he opening up the door. That's what he's saying. We should be okay with those fucking grown-ass people playing with our kids on roadblocks and shit like that. Grooming them. Waiting for wait. What did your parents say? Did your parents say you could play the game? You can't play the game. Your parents said you got to turn off the game? Yeah, I wish you were here. I'll let you play the game all night. At my house, you can play the game all night. In fact, whenever you get tired about your parents, you can just run away to my house. Just meet me at the mall.
One dad, no matter how good the dad
is, he can't be
like he
everything.
can't be everything. And then that boy made.
Listen to that shit. This is sick. This is sick. That motherfucker said your dad can't be everything. Your mom and your dad is the first image of God in your life. You know what I mean? And he's telling you that your dad can't be everything. So are you saying that we should? Because I want y'all to understand this conversation. He's not saying parents. He's not saying parents. He's not saying you should have more than one mom and more than one dad. He is specifically targeting the heterosexual man in the household. He is specifically targeting heterosexual men in the household. It is not like he said you should have, more than one mom and more than one dad. You should have a multitude of parents. He didn't say that. So this is not about parenting, right?
This is about having someone to go.
This is about second guessing the fucking masculine energy in the household. This is about second guessing the man in the house. That's what it is. Because you might need another man opinion to give you an opinion on your father. What person tells them, don't listen to your dad. Don't take your dad advice. Do you got any gay professors around that you can go talk to? That's who's going to give you the advice that you need to hear. No, he's going to tell you to try a penis. You might like it.
Needs somebody to give the boys some perspective on the dad.
Yeah.
And Michelle Obama is right there like, yeah, you might need a different perspective on your dad. Now let's turn that shit around and say, so Michelle, do you think we need a different perspective on the mothers too? Should we open up that door?
Yes, we should.
Should we say our daughters should be around lesbians in order to get a perspective, just in case they're thinking about licking the carpet? Should we say that? Can we say, do we dare fucking turn this around and ask them that same question? You know what I mean?
Right?
Yeah.
One of the most valuable things I learned as a guy was I had a gay professor in college at a time when openly gay folks still weren't outlawed, who became one of my favorite professors and was a great guy and would call me out when I started saying stuff that
you know what now that he's talking about this professor like this, Michelle Obama might be the motherfucking professor. That might be for Professor Michelle right there. This might be the person that he met in high school. Michelle Obama might be that professor, because there ain't no way. If you talk about another man like that in front of your girl gonna be like, what, you fucking him or something? Like, why are you talking so fucking highly about him? Shit, you don't even talk that great about me. He talking about he's a great guy, excellent guy who still calls me to this day. Fuck you and the professor got go. So you know damn well Michelle Obama has to be that professor. Listen, why he ain't never say the professor name? What's the professor name? Professor Ogilvy?
My favorite professors, and was a great guy, and would call me out when I started saying stuff that was ignorant.
I want y'all to think about what he said. He said that his professor is who called him out when he would ever say something ignorant, right? Now, I want y'all to think about this. This is at a time where people didn't even openly say the things that they're saying now, didn't openly do the things that they're doing now. Barack Obama is an older guy, right? He talking about college, you know, at a time where they had to keep shit under the cover. They probably was just now getting out of, you know, putting people in the fucking insane asylum for having, you know, same sex thoughts or whatever, right? So you talking about he's saying that his professor, listen to this, his professor would call him out whenever he would say something ignorant. I wonder how his professor like, well, don't knock it till you try it. How you know you don't like it if you ain't ever tried it? If you ain't ever had a penis, how you know you don't like it? So stop talking like you don't like penis unless you want to try it. Do you want to try it? You know what I'm saying? Like, how did he call you out? How did he call you on your bullshit? It's not like this is like you're talking about race, or he was being insensitive about somebody's nationality, color, creed. Like, no. You was groomed by your fucking professor. That's why Michael is Michelle right now. And them kids don't want nothing to do with y'all. That's why when Michael and I, you remember that speech that he did? This motherfucker about to make me become a Republican. When Michael and I, if this is what the Democrats is for, I'm going non-binary on partners on this party shit. I'm non-binary. Fuck that. I'm not Republican. I'm not Democrat. I am non-binary. Can we set up that motherfucking side station non-binary where we just undecided? No, I don't want to be undecided. I want to be non-binary, which means I don't bind myself to either party. That's what I want to be. Non-binary. Party non-binary. Yeah, I don't want to be no third party partisan, none of that shit. I want you to know that I don't fuck with either party. You know what I mean? Is that a title? I want them to know that I don't fuck with either party. I am non-binary in the political shit. If this is what the Democrats want, if this is what the Democrats is representing, attacking the heterosexual male in the household, this shit is sickening. This shit is sickening, and the world is truly upside down. I just want to say that. I just want to say that because we already at a shortage of men in the fucking household, and now you trying to tell us that our kids need a somebody who, man,
you need that to show empathy and kindness. And by the way, you need that person.
And that's not true, because your mother is going to teach you empathy, kindness, and all of that other stuff. You don't necessarily need no fucking gay. You don't necessarily need no feminine male to teach you empathy, sympathy, and all of that other shit. In fact, I've seen a lot of them men that don't even have sympathy or empathy or none of that shit. So how the fuck is he trying to sit here and make it seem like they're the ones who got all the empathy and sympathy and shit? Make it make sense. This is how you know this is a character. This is a heterosexual male trying to tell you that he would not have empathy or sympathy if he didn't run into his gay professor in college, mind you, in college. How the fuck did you make it all the way to college without empathy or sympathy or any of that shit? So Barack Obama didn't get empathy or sympathy until he took a dick in college. Shut the fuck up. Get the fuck out of here.
Your friend group, so that if you then
You do not
have
gotta take a dick
a
for
boy
empathy and sympathy, guys.
who's
Ladies
gay
and gentlemen,
or
you do not gotta
non-binary
take
or
a
whatever,
dick
they have somebody
for
that they can
empathy
go,
and
okay, I'm not
sympathy.
alone in this.
Yeah.
Right. So
hold on, let me reset the TikTok because I might have said Peter's too many times.
It's not the P word you said.
I know, but I'm saying the P word now.
No.
Police say he died yesterday.
A man got sucked in an MRI machine and died.
Yep, that isn't
That's true.
how.
They did the news about it. He had a choker chain on. He wasn't supposed to be in the room. The machine came on. That shit sucked him in, bent his whole body in half. It was almost like he had a belt on that was pulling him in, but it pulled him into the MRI machine.
That's horrible.
Yeah, bent him all up. He passed at the hospital. Well, they're not pushing raindrops and gummy drops in the world. I mean, shit. You know, if that's the case, it'd be raining meatballs and spaghetti. We in the dark world for real. I don't care what y'all say. We are in dark times for real. Barack Obama said that everybody needs. This dude is crazy, man. I don't care. And the fact that Michelle Obama knows what he about to say before he say it only lets me know that it's coerced. That's what that lets me know. That Michelle Obama is telling him what to say. That he's just a puppet. Because if I'm trying to say something and you finishing my words before me, that's not it's like that because we're in a relation. No. In fact, you don't even know what I'm about to say. Why would as the hetero male of the household, why would I say that the boy, mind you, Barack Obama don't got no fucking boys. He got 2 girls, right? Barack Obama got 2 girls, right? Don't even know what it's like to raise a boy, right? But he sit here and tell us that our boys should have more than one guy in their life. They do. My uncles, my brothers, you know what I'm saying? They uncles, they got their grandpa, they do got more than one guy in their life. But that's not what he's talking about. Listen to this. He's telling you to allow your kids to be around gay men. That's what Barack Obama is telling you.
I think a lot of times boys need is not just exposure to one guy.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean? What does having exposure to more than one guy mean? I don't know what that
That
means.
makes me wonder if your dad was a little weird.
I mean, but that just weird. Like
Exposure
when you
to
say
more
something
than
like,
one guy.
even the way that he puts it is weird. The way that he is putting it is weird. I think boys should have exposure to more than one guy. First of all, what are you talking about? Like you think boys should try guys more than once? Like, what do you mean they should have exposure? And then like he's fumbling with his words as he's saying it because he knows he's about to say something that's fucked up.
Not just exposure to one guy.
Mhm.
Not just exposure to
One
one
dad.
guy.
One dad. No matter how good the dad is.
He can't be
Like he
everything.
can't be everything.
She said it before.
She said it before him. She said it before him that the dad can't be everything. How? How do you know that Barack Obama is thinking that the dad can't be everything and he's the dad? And he's literally the heterosexual dad that made it to be a president. And you telling us that we should tell our boys that they can't be everything. You are the first black president at a time where we didn't even think we would see a black president. And you want to be the one to tell somebody that they can't be everything? Does that sound right? Does that sound like a person who knows you're our only black president? The only black president. And you want us to tell our kids that they can't be everything after we watched a black guy become president. Now you want me to tell our kids that they can't be anything at a time that we never thought we'll see a black president. You're that guy. And now that guy is telling our kids that their dads can't be everything.
I know. That doesn't make sense.
And then that boy may need somebody to give the boy some perspective on the dad.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
One of the
So basically what you're telling me is the gay guy in my son's life is going to give my son perspective on me. So the only right person in this is the gay guy. Because who the fuck gave the perspective of that guy? Do you get what I'm saying? Like if he's giving the perspective of your father, who gave you the perspective of him?
Why do you value the professor
Over your father?
right?
How do the professor perspective of your father trumps your father? How is that? How is that the he might have to give you some perspective on your father? You know what? You and him go to the office. All right, Ming Lee. Barack Obama is not the first black president. Okay. I guess you're going to go back to the original first black president who's on the $2 bill, right?
The most valuable things I learned as a guy was I had a gay professor in college.
Listen to what he said. I want you to listen to how that sentence rolls into each other, right?
And he's an
He said-
eloquent speaker.
Right. And he just said the one of the greatest perspectives I had. Listen to his words.
I learned as a guy, right?
Yeah.
One of the most valuable things I learned.
One of the most valuable things I've learned, right? That means he's putting this over some of the secrets that he learned. He's putting this over some of the shit that he learned in the presidency. He's putting this over every fucking thing that he learned. He's putting this experience with his professor at the top.
Right.
One of the greatest things I've learned was how to take a dick.
How to be groomed into that. I'm not saying that.
As a guy,
Why he stuttered like he had another option, like he was something else. As a guy, one of the greatest things that I learned as a
president guy,
as a guy, yeah, is that right? Is that what you want me to say, Michelle? As a guy, yeah, one of the greatest things I learned as a guy. You know what I mean? Because that's what he's stuttering for, validation from her. She's chiming in at every word to keep him, you know what I'm saying, to keep it going. So he's like, he can't know everything. Yeah, he can't know everything. How? Okay, now, Mr. President, we have some things we want to ask you. Sure, go right ahead. All right. One, how do you feel about the situation that's going on? And then all of a sudden she start answering. How is you answering his question? As the heterosexual man of the house, how is Michelle Obama answering for the heterosexual position of the house? And furthermore, how is Barack Obama answering a fucking question that he can't answer? Because he don't have a boy. He's not growing a boy. I can see if he had a boy and he let his kid around, you know what I mean? You don't have a boy. You're not raising a boy. So how is you telling the America how to raise a boy and you never raised a boy?
I had a gay professor in college at a time when openly gay folks still weren't out, who became one of my favorite professors and was a great guy and would call me out when I started saying stuff that was ignorant. You need that to show empathy and kindness. And by the way, you need that person in your friend group so that if you then have a boy who is...
Think about that. He said you need that. He said you need that to show you empathy. You don't need that to get empathy. How do you need that to get empathy? How is he saying that everybody need a gay guy in their circle? In their circle. Just in case your kid get curious. If my kid get curious, why the fuck am I going to send him to the gay guy in my circle? That's open prostitution right there that Barack Obama talk about.
Wow.
That's like saying have a dick on standby just in case your son get curious.
I hope
Have a friend ready to do some shit to your kid just in case they get curious.
That doesn't.
Either way, they still got to talk to him about it.
Yes.
Either way, that person got to talk to him about it.
It would be inappropriate even to suggest something like that.
Either way, it's going to be fucked up. Like, go talk to him about taking it. Go talk to him. Either way, he's got to talk to your kid about it. It's fucked up all around the board.
Right. You shouldn't be talking to children about stuff like that. You should be like, you should talk to your parents about that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But he's saying that have this person in your group just in case your kid gets curious.
Who's
Mind you, this think about it. We're not talking about have a kid like that around. He's saying have a grown person like that around, a guy friend like that around. Really be loud and wrong. Okay, we listening to him right now. You can come up and hear what he's saying, and you can interpret it for us. You can interpret it what he's saying for us.
who's gay or non-binary or what have you, they have somebody that they can go, okay, I'm not alone in this.
Yeah.
Right. So
But they're going to find that in their peer group, though. They're going to find that they're not alone in their peer group. You get what I'm saying? Like, once they start their social life with their friends, they're going to find, if they are thinking that way, right? They're going to find other people in that group that thinks like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? They don't need to go to this grown ass man whose social is not in their same social group.
And they have at least in schools, they have like guidance counselors that you could go to if you don't have anyone to talk to. They're safe people.
I know, but for him to be putting it like this is just weird. I'm sorry. I can't. I mean, he speaks too good with his words for us to say like this is
some of the definitions of manhood, I think, were negative. right?
Mhm.
You don't whine, you don't cry.
No
You're-
emotion.
You're not a jerk.
Mhm.
I do like the thing you brought up though about being a protector, because for some reason that part of it, I think, appealed to me, and at its best, it then counterbalanced the idea of being strong, right?
Mhm.
Like you're strong not to pick on people,
Yeah.
right? Not to be a bully,
Yeah.
not to dominate others. Instead, it's strength in order to protect, right? And for me, a lot of being a man was being self-sufficient.
Mhm.
Right? The idea of I can handle myself and make my way through the world. And that's one of the things that I think a lot of times boys need is not just exposure to one guy,
One dad.
one dad. No matter how good the dad
Dad
is,
is. He can't be
like he
everything.
can't be everything.
Y'all telling me I'm hearing that different? Are y'all really trying to tell me I'm hearing that different? He said your kid needs more exposure to more than one guy.
He's specifically saying dad, though.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And he's not saying like the uncle, he's not saying your grandfather, because your kid is going to have exposure to other masculine energies in their life, other masculine men in their life, right? He's going to have exposure to other guys. You know what I'm saying? The uncle, the best friends that you have in your life is going to, you know what I'm saying? That's my blood, you know, whatever goes on. You're going to have exposure to other men in your life as a child, right?
Mhm.
Even teachers, you're going to have exposure to other men in your life because you're going to have teachers in your life once you get to the 7th grade and so on. You can't choose like what teacher you got. So you're going to have exposure to other men in your life with teachers, right? Counselors, football coaches. There's other men that come along in a kid, in a male's, you know, childhood life. You know, your friends, parents might take y'all to the here or there or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not, he's saying like dad specifically.
Yeah.
They need you know, your dad's not always, he's saying the second guess your dad. Like, you know, you need a gay person that might give you an opinion on your dad. How?
It doesn't make sense.
They trying to tell me I'm listening to it wrong.
And then that boy may
Somebody on the
need
TikTok.
somebody to give
Mhm.
the boys some perspective on the dad.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Did you not
One of
hear
the
him
most
just say
valuable
it?
things.
Did you not hear him just say that boy may need somebody to give him perspective on a dad? So how you saying he didn't say that if you just heard him say it? You saying he didn't say it, but you just heard him say that boy may need somebody to give him a perspective on the dad. You just heard him say that. Stop trying to act like y'all, you don't want to hear it. That's what the truth is. You guys want to act like he's not saying this shit. I'm going to rewind it back and I'm going to play it all the way through. Now be quiet so you can hear it.
It's one of the things that I think a lot of times boys need is not just exposure to one guy,
Mhm. One dad.
one dad. No matter how good the dad
Dad
is,
is. He can't be
like he
everything.
can't be everything. And then that boy may need somebody to give
Mhm.
the boys some perspective on the dad.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
One of the most valuable things I learned as a guy was I had a gay professor in college at a time when openly
Yes.
gay folks still weren't out,
Mhm.
who became one of my favorite professors and was a great guy and would call me out when I started saying stuff that was ignorant.
Mhm.
You need that.
Well, and
Boom. Right there. Right there. He just said it.
Mhm.
You need that. You need that. He said, a gay professor that would call me out, blah, 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 blah. You need that. So I don't see how y'all making it seem like I'm putting words in his mouth. I'm actually listening to what he said. And I'm just saying that's not true. You don't need that. Gay professor is not the only one that can teach you about empathy. In fact, another man is not the only one that can teach you about empathy, sympathy, or any of that. Matter of fact, because your mom is teaching you about that stuff. Your mom is teaching you about empathy, sympathy, all your feelings and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Your mom is teaching you about stuff like that. So how are you going to say that, you know what I mean, you need that type of person in your life in order to teach you empathy and sympathy? You're saying that a boy needs other guys around to teach him about empathy and sympathy?
What, why are they having this like
So,
conversation at all?
empathy and kindness. And by the way, you need that person in your friend group so that if you then have
Mhm.
a boy who's gay or non-binary or what have you, they have somebody that they can go, okay, I'm not alone in this.
See, just said it again. You need that person in your friend group, and you need a gay person in your friend group. Boy is gay or non-binary or whatever, and needs to say, okay, I'm not. So you telling what? And y'all trying to tell me he's not specifically talking about boys and you know what I mean? Like, because he's not like he's saying like in case you're a girl or he's not saying you're a kid. He's not saying in case your daughter has these thoughts too.
Mhm.
They
Yeah,
need
it's
somebody
very
to talk to.
specific
It's
about
very specific. Why y'all trying to take away the words that he's saying? He didn't say everyone around you is teaching you. He didn't say that. He didn't say everyone around you can be a teacher. That's not what he said. Stop trying to make up stuff that he didn't say. I know y'all wish he probably would have said something better, but don't make up the stuff that he didn't say. You know what I'm saying? Let's listen to what he did say. That's the problem. A lot of y'all hear stuff and y'all make it up in y'all head what y'all heard. And y'all like, oh, he was saying that everybody should be nah, this shit weird. This shit weird.
Yeah.
Right. So
And yeah,
He can't be
like he can't be
everything.
everything.
teach empathy
And
but
Michelle Obama over there talking about, yeah, your dad can't be everything. She telling him like, so Michelle and Barack Obama both agree that your dad can't be everything. Why they didn't say your parents can't be everything?
right. That's what I mean. It's being very specifically targeted at the father figure.
The father figure, right?
Right.
Your dad can't be everything. So what's your mom then? Is your mom everything? Who's everything? Who's the everything? Is nobody everything? Because that would be saying like nobody, right? Because that's, you know what I mean? Is it just parents, like, or is it just specifically the dad that he's saying? He's saying your dad can't be everything. That's what he's saying.
Mhm.
that's one of the things that I think a lot of times boys need is not just exposure to one guy,
Mhm. One dad.
one dad, no matter how good the dad
Dad
is.
is. He can't be
Like he
everything.
can't be everything.
Why? Yeah, it's like there's a script.
Right, because Michelle Obama is making sure that he stayed to the script. Because she's saying the stuff before he say it.
Yeah.
So how do she know that he's thinking that the dad can't be everything? This is about to open a can of worms.
Maybe
Yeah. This is about to open a can of worms with Michelle being Michael. Fucking right. This is about to open a can of worms. We've been waiting for them to say some dumb shit so we can open back up that door and figure some shit out. Inquiring minds been wanting to know if that army photo was real. Inquiring minds been wanting to know because when Michelle Obama's mom passed, right, there was an obituary that went out that said that Michelle Obama's mom said, "I'm leaving everything behind to my son Michael." Michelle Obama's mother left it in her will that I'm leaving everything to my son Michael. I've been waiting for them to come back on the scene because I've been wanting to ask some questions. You know what I mean? I've been waiting for their ass to pop out. Huh? I've been waiting for their ass to pop out. Cause I'll be damned if I don't give a fuck if you is the president, Barack. I'll be damned if you gonna tell me how to raise a motherfucking boy and you never raised a boy. You got 2 girls. Nigga, tell us about raising girls. Nigga, don't try to tell us that our boys need more motherfucking exposure to other men. What? We just taught them stranger danger. You can't go from motherfucking stranger danger to I'm the map. I'm the map. If there's a place you need to get, I can get you there, I bet. I'm the map. Some of these grown-ass men just want to be your kid's friend. You might as well just let them. What the fuck is wrong with you, Barack? Huh? Matter of fact, let me talk to Michael. Michael, you orchestrated this shit. You get in the corner too. I don't want to be a fucking Democrat no more. If this is the shit that y'all doing, I don't want to be a fucking Democrat no more. I would like to be non-binary when it comes to this party shit. Huh? I want to be non-motherfucking binary when it comes to this party shit. This shit is bullshit. You come out here, ain't got no experience raising a fucking boy, but sit here and tell us some bullshit.
And then that boy may need somebody to give the boy some perspective on the dad.
Yeah.
Why would that boy need another man, whatever the fuck you want to call it, to try to give him us perspective on the dad? I wonder if you would think the same way if your girls went out and got some perspectives on you. I wonder, would you think the same way if we turned it around and said, well, the girls need a lesbian friend on standby also? Huh? Oh, Michelle motherfucking head to spin then if we was asking her these motherfucking questions. So, Michelle, do you think your daughter should second guess you? Do you think they should go get a second opinion on you? Probably fucking not. Do you think your girl should think less of you? Probably not. Huh? This is Michael running the household. This is fucking Michael running the household. Michael is telling Barack what to say. This is bullshit. Y'all know it is. Somebody come up in the box so I can yell at y'all. Now I need somebody to take this out on. One of you motherfucking foolish ass Barack Obama lovers, come up in the box. I know y'all want to try to spin this shit. Let me hear how y'all spin this shit. Hello? How you doing?
I'm doing good. With you though, I guess you want somebody to come up that feels that he's saying something right. But I feel that him and Michael have completely ruined our country with this LGBTQ stuff. Like completely ruined it. And I'm embarrassed because they say he was our first black president, but I don't know how he could be our first black president when his mom, first of all, is Caucasian and his dad is African. That doesn't make him black. And it's like they used him to push the gay narrative. George Bush wouldn't do it. They couldn't get Bill Clinton to do it.
Bill Clinton didn't want to do it either.
He did.
It's scary though. It's scary because now this goes back to, you remember when Kamala, and they wouldn't let Kamala in Africa, and Africa kept on saying like, no, we don't want that narrative here, so on and so forth. So he's exposing that this has been the Democrats' mission all along. When Kamala started locking up all them black men, taking them out the household, like they are exposing why welfare is the way it is. They're exposing that their game plan has always been to take us out of the fucking household so they can have our children.
And I do, because it's harder for y'all than any other race of fathers, because the stocks are already stacked up against you guys, and black mothers don't make it no easier for you guys. When you go down to the child support court, all you do is see black men there. You don't see any Asian fathers on the down there. You don't see any white fathers down there. This is a whole agenda to break up the black family, and it's been like that from the beginning. And our young ladies are conditioned to think that they don't need a man to help them raise their kid. It's very demasculating, and doing it to us, but we won't wake up. We just won't wake up. I don't understand why we won't wake up as a people.
Oh, at this point, it's just like, man, like you can't, do we, all right, like, do we got anybody fighting for us? Yeah. No, I mean, like, besides like the select few, like in the higher up positions, like, because you see the corruption with hip hop and their agenda, and then you watch Hollywood and its agenda, and then this shit is like in political too, and now it's just like, so this whole time we never really had anybody that was supporting the fucking heterosexual household.
Not at all. Even my grandson's school, I had to take him out of it because I found out that they had an identity box. They don't let the parents into the school, but they have a box called the identity box, and the kids can come in the morning and they can change into whatever it is that they want to be for that day. If they're a boy and they feel like a girl today, they can go in there in that box and put on a skirt.
That's why they stopped letting parents in the schools.
Already changed them back into the clothes that you bought them in the morning.
They teaching our kids to be secret. They teaching our kids to be secretive. That's why they stopped letting the parents in the schools.
Yeah. So that's why we got homeschool. What you think about that?
I'm actually in the process of putting a homestead together. Trying to gather the people to put a homestead together, so that way we can, get that it take a village mindset back. But I think everyone should start homeschooling. If you look at the things that are implemented in this big, beautiful bill, they are cutting back on education. They're cutting back on Medicaid. I think people who are getting Section 8 are about to get thrown out. A lot of stuff's about to start happening that y'all are not going to like. And if we don't unify and work together, we're going to get trapped. That's where I come in, and the people that I work with. I work with a social media management group that helps people build pages online. We are on 2 pages on YouTube, 1 page on Twitch, and 1 page on TikTok. And we have different locations. Right now, we only have particularly 2 locations, one in Allen, Michigan, and the other one in North Carolina, where we are doing homesteads and trailers and mobile homes and stuff like that, renting out spots and stuff like that, trying to put the village mindset back together. I think our first event out here is going to be on the 25th. If we can pull everything together, it's going to be on the 25th through the 27th. But I think a homestead is the direction to go. I think it's getting scary out here right now as far as the shape of it. Like, it's like they don't even care that they telling us they're playing, right in our face. Like, they don't even give a fuck. Like, they telling you, like, we don't care about you. We want your youth. We want to groom them. And that's it. Get out the way type shit.
They've been telling us stuff. We've been pacified. I may have an unpopular opinion, but I feel like the Section 8, the welfare, the food stamps, all of those things they've given us, and it's caused us to become a group of people, a group of pacified people that we're asleep. We're sailed asleep because we've been pacified. And I feel like it's a wake up. To take all of those crutches away is going to make you sink or swim. And sometimes you have to do that in order to evolve.
Right. They partly didn't address the whole divorce allegation. They didn't really address it. I guess by Barack Obama coming on a show, that was kind of like addressing it. I don't really know how they're going about the whole split separation thing. Maybe maybe that's part of the agenda too, to make it look like divorce is normal and divorce is okay. Separation is normal, separation is okay. I've been waiting for them to poke their heads back out as far as some questions that need to be answered regarding, Michelle and her, transformation, and regarding like Barack Obama and his true identity. Because when I looked up the history of Barack Obama, I seen that his grandmother is related to Hitler, and that shit was shocking to me.
Yeah, I saw that as well. I just know that Michelle said in her book that she didn't have either one of those girls. Like she had surrogates for both of the kids. So,
but that's what I'm saying.
To people that I don't know what
she's got to have surrogates. She can't. Look, I'm trying to tell y'all, there's something strange and it don't look good. Who you gonna call? You know what I'm saying?
Yo, it's crazy.
Willie, what's going on with you?
Hey, yo, I really feel sorry for like the people that believe in Barack Obama. He's the greatest experiment of social engineering in the history of the world. That's why the rest of the world didn't accept Barack Obama, but America and the European powers.
Do you think they told us? You think they told us what they were doing before they did it? Okay, because I'm going back into like Mantual candidate type shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He was the biggest faker ever.
He has to be.
A lot of people be like, oh, like we try to accept him as the black man that he is, but people keep forgetting that he only half of that. You know what I'm saying? They don't realize his other side and who he was raised with.
Well, Barack Obama
was a Soros.
Yeah, he didn't identify. He didn't identify. He only identified because it worked. And see, and that's the same thing they tried with Kamala, right? Kamala tried to come out and be all fried chicken, watermelon, and shit. And you know what I'm saying? Then she turned around and was like, my East Indian heritage, so on and so forth. So like a lot of these times it's like they were getting figureheads.
They couldn't erase the history because she was a part of the biggest state in America, for one, California. She locked up more black women in one state in the history of America in a 4-year period. See, the people in California never forgot that. The people in California tried to tell the rest of the world that, yo, she not black, she Indian. never before she became a senator or whatever you want to call it, title after the DA, right?
I think we should have gave Sarah Palin a chance. Is that her name?
Palin.
Sarah Palin, the one with all them
The
kids.
Alaskan lady.
Yeah, the one that had like 6 kids.
Yeah.
I think we should have gave her a chance.
I agree. I like her.
Because you know what I'm saying? Like,
it was crazy. We could, if we would have gave her a chance, you see what she did with her daughter's baby daddy. She did the country boy. We had to deal with
I know, but look, let's think about this. Let's think about this. At least we know she was popping out babies.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Do you get what I'm saying?
Well, being a parent.
Because look. She can actually say what it's like to go through those pains. She can say what it's like to have to sit down on a fucking couch or get up off a couch, you know, going 8 months in. Cause that shit look rough. I'll be watching y'all. Y'all be sliding to the edge of the couch and shit, doing this whole little push up thing with your arms and shit. I'll be looking at y'all like, damn, you need help. And y'all motherfuckers be so big. Y'all be like, I don't need no help. I don't need no help. It was you that did this to me. That's why I be letting y'all get up by yourself and shit. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I the way I look at it, I be like, damn, she know what it's like. We need some people in office that actually went through the growing pains that they talking about. If Michelle and Barack Obama, first of all, Barack Obama can't tell us what the fuck a household need because he can't tell us what the fuck a household need. You gotta actually be a part of the household, not no fucking image that they pretended for America. You know what I mean? Like the first household he actually ran was the White House. And that's a false household. I thought it was weird that the kids ran away from home. That's how I knew it wasn't their kids, because I was thinking like the foster care system, like when kids run away, they're running away to their parents. You know what I'm saying? Kids don't run away from their parents, especially when your parents made it in the motherfucking White House. You just don't run away from that. You know what I mean?
You know what else is crazy is how much they tried to hide about this man. How much they, like, because before he got in the White House, and people forget, I got family out there. There was little articles about Obama being with men on the regular. He was considered, when he's going to come out as / before he got with Michelle, an alternate man, you know what I'm saying? But there was articles, but they, you know, they erased, they scrubbed.
All right, hold on. Let's listen to Barack himself say it.
That's one of the things that I think a lot of times boys need is
Hold on.
not just exposure to one guy.
AT2, what's going on?
One dad.
One dad. No matter how good the dad is.
He can't be
Like, he
everything.
can't be everything.
Now, I want to ask y'all, how is Michelle Obama answering Barack Obama? That's how you know this is orchestrated. That's how you know this is staged. She's like, he can't be everything. And then Barack's like, yeah, he can't be everything. Who's telling this story here? That's like, right. That's like somebody that's like you asking me to tell a story about my life, but this person is telling you my story. How?
wait a minute. Oh boy, do you know me? I don't know who this person is. This ain't going along to fit in. I don't know who this is.
You sure? They not talking about you. They not talking about you. Hey, Dr. Manhattan, I'm gonna bring you up. But don't cut me. Y'all can't cut me. Yeah, go ahead. Piggyback off of Willie.
Up here propagating this white propaganda, talking about Michelle Obama's a man.
We not. Hold on, stop. Dr. Manhattan. Just hold on real quick. And yeah, how is that? But listen, I want you to understand something. I want you to understand what you just said, right? How did you give propaganda a color? How the fuck did you do that?
Propaganda is either black or it's white.
What? What about the Asian people? What about my Latinos? Latinos don't got propaganda?
Yes, for sure.
Oh my God! Now propaganda has color. Propaganda is not just propaganda no more. Okay. Show you proof of what? Hold on. Let's listen to this real quick. Listen to what he's saying. I want y'all to listen to what he's saying before we listen to what he's saying.
That boy may need somebody to give the boy some perspective on the dad.
He said that boy might need. Can everybody mute their mic because it's some it's static coming through the mic, and I'm trying to let y'all be heard on YouTube too. He said that boy may need somebody to give him a perspective on the dad. Listen to what he's saying.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
One of the most valuable things I learned as a guy was I had a gay professor in college at a time when
Hold on, back up. We was laughing, back up.
That man said one of the most valuable things he learned.
Was he had a gay professor, and then what did he say after that?
Hold on.
Sorry.
opened the boys some perspective on the dad.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
One of the most valuable things I learned as a guy was I had a gay professor in college at a time when openly gay folks still weren't out, who became one of my favorite professors and was a great guy and would call me out when I started saying stuff that you need that.
You need
To
that.
show empathy and kindness. And by the way,
To show
you
empathy
need that
and
person
kindness.
in your friend group so that if you then have a boy who's gay or non-binary or whatever, they have somebody that they can go, okay, I'm not alone in this.
Hold on, listen.
He said you need that in your friends group if you in case you have a boy that's gay or non-binary, so that way he can have somebody to say. So I need to be. Hold on. So I need to be friends with somebody to prepare if my son is thinking about penis. Shut the fuck up. You know what? This is dark. This is dark. Let me ask you this: why we didn't never see Barack Obama with his gay guy friend? Already got Michelle. Come on, man. She's got one of them Toy Story G.I. Joe faces. She that strong ass cheekbone.
That makes no sense. Okay, low boy. Like I was trying to say, I wanted to pick you up for Willie. Sorry to cut you off.
But why we never seen Barack Obama hanging out with his gay friends? That's what I'm saying.
There's a book written on him about, an encounter with a man, Larry Sinclair. Like, and I asked everybody about that, and they don't know much about it.
Nope. Well, first of all, my first response, if I was to just say it objectively, is he did say he used to do cocaine. Maybe
You ain't allowed to say that. You ain't allowed to say that. You ain't substances, street substances.
Would say number one, I would say cocaine. Number two,
Stop saying that, bro. I'm gonna drop you if you say it again. I promise you. I promise you, I'm gonna drop you if you say it again.
Yeah, I'm gonna be careful.
Well, you're not allowed to say that type of stuff on here. I'm gonna end as soon as that restriction pop up here. I know not to bring you up no more. Don't worry.
I got you. My filter is on.
All right.
I'm publicized now.
All right, go ahead.
When he had said that he was doing that white,
That booger sugar,
okay,
something.
so maybe that was a white episode. That's number one. And number two, no, I don't know. And number two, none of us know. All we're doing is listening to people. And number two, who are you listening to? Why would you even listen to a person who speaks the English language? Don't you understand what it is out here? It's you against them.
Okay.
Okay,
Stop. Oh, no. Hold on. Because you just told me something. You just said, why would I listen to somebody that speak the English language? But you're saying that as you speak the English language. So at this point, I'm just going to ask you to shut the hell up. At this point, no, you just told me not to listen to you because you speak in the English language. Okay. Todo Rama. If you read Arabic, good for you. Todo Rama.
and I speak Spanish.
Okay, cállate la boca. Yeah, I mean, which direction do you want to go with this? Cállate la boca. Do my day. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, y'all, we be sitting here,
Disrespect for where I'm from.
yo, adios míos, coño. Listen to me. Please listen to me, right? I need you to stop trying to do this whole, I'm better than you. I do this, I do that, because you just told me not to listen to somebody with the English language. I try to speak to you in Spanish, and then you wanted to say, I'm from where you from. Okay. Oh, shit. Oh, my God.
It's my response. My response is people need to think more complex, man.
Okay.
Everything don't fit in one box.
Right. Okay. Taco Bell, think outside the box.
I just believe he's on an agenda.
I can't.
I just could have been had an agenda so he came involved.
He just told us to run for the border.
Don't listen to that man narrative, right? Because he's on that white boy, right? Why they made it so easy? Like they made it so hard for us to even figure it out, to know that it exists. For what? Why? Why is it hidden from us? No, you need to sit down. Go tomorrow.
Especially if you saying that every man needs a friend like that. This only proves that you right.
My impression is I'm looking at him and he's thinking of some next level complex friends situation shit that he deserves. Because look, this guy has 2 daughters, man. His son. He raised 2 daughters in a social system with God knows who these girls went to school with. And, God knows what these girls are talking about and what they're going through. So,
Lifestyles of the rich and famous. Go ahead.
Right. Basically, he's talking some lifestyles of the rich and famous shit on you. And you're trying to relate. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Look, let me explain something to you. I'm a stationary engineer from New Jersey, right? I make quite a bit of money. But my kids didn't grow up because I acquired that money later, right? My son, computer engineer. My daughter is an anesthesiologist. They didn't get that from me. They got that scholarship. They earned it. You know what I'm saying? So what he's talking, why would a straight black man who knows the inner workings of the LGBT promote the LGBT to straight young black boys? Why he's not promoting the strong father, the working class, none of that. He keep talking about this alternate.
No. Riddle me this. Hold on. Stop. I want y'all to ask. I want to ask y'all this. He's saying that you need to keep somebody like this on standby just for a possibility. It's a possibility that your son might end up that way or want to be that way or question that, right? It's a have anybody grew up with gay? Hold on. Stop saying these words that you know you're not supposed to say. Okay, now wait.
What do y'all do for that?
Huh?
You say rainbow.
Some people say same sex. Some people, it's different things. You can say same sex love. Listen. How I look at this is like this, right? I get what y'all saying. Like, has anybody ever grew up with a parent that was like that? You know what I'm saying? First of all of us grew up in the 80s and the 90s, right? If our parents was doing that at the 69, freak offs and all that shit, we didn't know about it. In fact, some of y'all don't know that y'all uncle is y'all motherfucking dad. But we're not looking at that, right? We're not looking at all the hotel parties that our parents was going to in the 80s and the 90s and early 90s or 70s and stuff like that. There was a lot of freak offs, okay? Whether you want to believe it or not, okay? So however we looking at this, we're not looking at the society that we grew up in, because the society that we grow up in is different from the society that our kids grew up in, right? And I understand that our kids are growing up in a society where it's open, that they are allowed to have an experience of whatever it is that they're experiencing, right? But it's not at the expense of the fucking grown person who's wanting access to our fucking kids. Do you get what I'm saying? If they fall victim to it in their age bracket and in their youth, that's one thing. But for you to tell me that I gotta keep a grown man on fucking standby for if my child think about some shit like that, it's sick within itself.
I agree.
So when I was asking that question, I was asking that question because have you ever heard the saying that when really times have changed but people the same?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So what I'm saying is I grew up with a gay parent. I was raised by a gay parent. Whether I was raised in the
A same sex.
right?
We get it. We get it.
I would say that too.
We get it. We get it.
Sorry. I mean, it really means happy, but I grew up with a happy parent.
Okay, let's say happy parent. Yeah.
I grew up with a happy parent, you know, whether it was the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, or the early 2000s. It really does not matter. What I'm telling you is psychologically, as a child, to see something that is unnatural, because however you want to paint the picture, it's unnatural. Okay. So to see that unnatural act as a child, it is very confusing. It is very it's very impressionable. And it can take it either way. Either you can become a very promiscuous type person when it comes to the act, or you can become a person that has conformed to that because that's the only thing that you've seen. That's what you know what I'm saying. That's what you see.
And
speaking of people together. So what I'm saying is that doesn't. It is a dark place to be in. Nobody's thinking about the children.
Mhm.
Nobody's
So
thinking
check this
about
out.
the children.
Let's support her
Speaking
point.
about
So
biology,
no,
you
energy.
say
Hold
something's
up.
not natural
Hold up.
because
Hold up.
I hear
Energy. Hold up.
she said that
Energy.
it's not natural.
Yo.
And that means that we're not looking at biology, right?
You with the
See what happened
this
was
one.
with the Roman.
Let me just follow up that point real quick.
With the Roman Empire, with supremacy, that came along with that oppression, right? When you keep thinking about the spiritual aspect, there's only two things: masculine and feminine. So for someone to say that it's not natural, they're not looking at biology as if biology don't play a role. There's animals that are, like she said,
So let's switch up for a second.
But you cannot hold on. You can't bring stop saying the G word, please. Let's say happy. Let's say happy. Let's say happy. Let's say happy. But listen, Luke, you cannot bring the masculine and feminine ideology into this story due to the fact that was broke down based off of the cosmic laws of gender, and the cosmic laws of gender state that everything has a masculine and feminine energy. So everyone down here on the right side of your body, you have a feminine energy. On the left side of your body, you have a masculine energy. These energies,
about the divine oneness. That's what everybody misses.
but that's within inside yourself. That's within inside. That's within inside oneself. Outside of yourself, there is a different reality that takes place. Just because you are a man doesn't mean that you are operating in your masculine energy. You can still be a man and be an operation of your feminine energy, right? Just like you can still be a woman and be an operation of your masculine energy. So we can't use those two forms because the body, no. Listen, here's why you can't. Here's why you can't. Because hold on. Here's why you can't, right? Because mentally, right? The state that you feel that you are in mentally, right, has nothing to do with what you have to accept on the outside, right? On the outside, I gotta accept that I got this thing that swing, right? On the inside, I accept that I am fully beautiful and divine within inside myself. You get what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that as personal as you know, and I'm not saying that personal, you know what I'm saying? I like slanging it. I mean I like the coochie. I like
Everyone that have those probably use those because they do have children. And so it's not
okay, yeah, I'm hetero. Yeah.
It's not about the genitalia.
I'm a pussy
That's not what
monster.
we're speaking. When you think of,
I'm a pussy monster.
Slow down, bro.
I'm sorry.
Let me-
I'm sorry.
Slow down.
my point. Let me make my
Energy. Hold on. You
Hold on. Let Dr. Manhattan get his out the way. Let Dr. Manhattan. Hold on, Dr. Manhattan. Go ahead, Dr. Manhattan. Don't say the G word. I'm gonna drop you.
I got you. A lot of
energy.
energy.
Hold on.
The thing
Your man here with the.
Go ahead, Dr. Manhattan.
So you chose today to promote your media program to get as many viewers as possible. Now, you have seen on media, has anybody on this panel been watching media random? And all of a sudden, you got a guy kissing a guy. And you're like, what the? Like you said, we raised in the 80s and the 90s. We never seen nothing like this.
always been around. It's always been around. Whether you've seen it or not.
Yeah, it has always been around. Look, because in the 1995 Biggie video, right? You'll see him say, like, you know what I'm saying, honey, check it. Call your friends to get with my friends and we could be friends. We could do this every weekend, all right? And in that video, right, you could see this girl going to the men's bathroom, staring at the urinal, and the two men looking back at her like, what the fuck? And then Busta Rhymes is standing at the bar talking to a woman who you can clearly see has a big ass fucking Adam's apple. So, however we want to look at this, this shit's been right in our face this whole time. Like,
But it's like on steroids now. We all know it's
nah, cause old boy said that Jamie Foxx said that they was having butt naked basketball games and shit. Can you imagine somebody going up for a layup in a butt naked basketball game? I don't think I want to play no game like that.
See, the thing is, everybody's worried about the sex part of it.
No, I'm worried about somebody nuts sliding down my face. I don't know what the fuck. I don't think a basketball game come with sex. I don't think if that's how a basketball game is won, then I don't want to play basketball. I don't think that's did he just say everybody's worried about the sex? You're not doing that in basketball.
About genitalia, then
we go into genitalia again, bro. Yo, chill.
Yeah,
Check this out. I have a whole
biological thing. And people try to make
I've been in medical school. I know a lot more biology than you.
So you don't even know me. That was the episode
one of the don't talk to me about biology. Yo, chill. You listen for a second. Now back to my point. So we decided to get clicks today, not off of the recent rise in media of all of the, if obviously some people go that way. Obviously, if you curate the media for your child, like we was talking about the other day, all of us who want to raise sexual children ain't gonna have them watching that in the media, but it's on anyhow without our choosing.
It's in the grocery stores. It's at the stores. It's in the church. It's in the church. It's on the TV. So it's part of reality.
But that's the reality that hold on. Stop. Y'all are taking the social experience out of it, right? Here's the thing. It is already implemented in our youth's society, right? Now, you can look like an asshole by acting like you don't see it or going against it or doing this extra shit, right? Or we can understand, even though it's not the society that we lived in, this is what is implemented in our youth society, right? Do we choose to understand it so we can approach it better, right? Taking the heterosexual man out of the household is not the fucking trick. Here's why, right? Because y'all tell us as men, we're supposed to protect the household, right? How the fuck we gonna protect it if it ain't there? How the fuck we gonna protect it if you going to the gay guy to second guess the opinion of the guy that's supposed to be protecting you? This shit don't make sense. It's a trap.
Yeah, I think along with supremacy is oppression. and people would
Man, I'm dropping you. I'm dropping you because you just keep on saying a bunch of dumb ass triggering fucking algorithm words that's fucking asinine and redundant and ain't got shit to do with the fucking topic at hand. Who the fuck, how the fuck, and why the fuck is you talking about supremacy when we talking about them taking a heterosexual male out the fucking household? The white man ain't fucking Trump ain't out here saying this shit. Barack Obama out here saying this shit. How the fuck is we bringing up the fucking white guy? It don't make no sense.
Put the video back on, man. Let's hear what he had to say, man. I don't even know what you're really speaking on right now.
One guy.
One dad.
One dad.
Hold on. Let me rewind it.
That's one of the things that I think a lot of times boys need is not just exposure to one guy.
Not just exposure to one guy.
One dad. No matter how good the dad is.
He can't
Like,
be
he can't
everything.
be everything.
People run a train.
And then that boy may need somebody to
get
the boys some perspective on the dad.
Knocking on our door saying, let your boys
one of the
out,
most valuable things I learned as a guy was
I'm sorry. Every time I hear this shit, it just keeps on. He said, your boys need to be exposed, not just to one guy. Hold on. What do you mean?
I don't like the fact that he used the word exposed.
Right.
Because that makes me think that he was exposed to his father and then also wanted a secondary person to be exposed to.
But that's weird though, because that's trauma. That means he's going over a trauma in his mind where he was exposed, where he accepted it. So now now think about this. He never raised the boy.
Right.
He never raised the boy. So it's not like he's coming from an actual father of boy perspective. And he's not talking about
That's a woman's perspective. That's absolutely right. That's a total woman's perspective he's taking on.
But he's also he's not generalizing it. He's not saying like both of the children, right? Because what if the girl goes through something where she thinks that she wants to be?
He's coming from his own perspective.
Exactly.
He is coming from his own perspective.
He's not. This is projecting. This is not no fucking. This is projecting, because you telling me that a boy needs on standby just in case your son want to know how to suck a dick. You keep somebody ready for him. What the fuck? No, because I have to say it like that because I want y'all to understand how gross this shit sounds.
It's social engineering, bro.
Yeah.
It's the same program that Woodrow Wilson had in the 50s, bro. Program is just ramped up now.
I gotta say it in a way that the people can understand it. You know what I mean? Yeah, I gotta say it in a way that you can understand what he's saying. You know what I'm saying? He's specifically saying
none of it.
All right, let's listen to it real quick. I'm sorry.
Times boys need is not just exposure to one guy.
One dad.
One dad. No matter how good the dad
is. He can't be
everything.
everything.
He can't be everything. And then that boy may need somebody to give the boy some perspective on the dad.
Yeah.
Ow.
That shit is real.
Hold on. I want you to think about this. Okay.
I guess y'all ain't raised no separate households.
No, because I need y'all to really think. Hold on. I need everybody to really think about this, right? I need everybody to really think about this. Every guy is a father, right? So how do you go to another guy, right, to get a perspective on the dad, because you're saying that the dad might not be right? So how the fuck is the other dad right if the dad not right? That means no dad is right. That means I can't go to that dad because that dad might be right, and I can't go to that dad because that's a dad too, and that dad might not be right. So a perspective of a dad still leads you to a dad.
Go ahead, Miss Mark.
I think that people who have been groomed often think that grooming behavior is normal.
say to me that he wouldn't wish those happy feelings on anybody. He said that to have to live in that condition is not a good feeling. And he said that he wouldn't push that agenda on anybody. He said that that's how you feel and that's how you want to live. That's the lifestyle that you're going to live. He said that's your business and that should be between you and God. He said, but to push that on somebody else, he said he would never do that. He said, because it's
So hold on, we're talking about the kid. Push that on the kid,
right?
So what about a situation where you're divorced and the other, your spouse, the other parent, has somebody. Let's say in this case, it's a dad we're talking about. So she got a boyfriend now or a husband. So he's saying, maybe the husband has something to say about the baby father, about her father.
But let's think about this on a deeper scale then. Let's think about this on a scale, but isn't this kind of telling? Because if let's say we ask this question to somebody else, right? A Christian is going to tell you to talk to God, right? A Muslim is going to tell you to talk to Allah. Well, a Muslim going to tell you Astaghfirullah, Aki, bombing it.
I like that. I like how you just did that.
So,
man, there you go, kid.
So,
prop try to diss me earlier, nigga. You see, I have faith in you. You come with it.
So if we're really looking at this is telling in more ways than one, because now you got to ask yourself, what type of person are we really dealing with here, where God is not involved in the raising of our children, first of all, right?
Like it. The comments just said that Barack Obama was saying not to raise homophobic kids, and I hate that word, homophobic, because a phobia means that you're scared of. That doesn't mean that just because you don't want to raise your children to be happy people doesn't mean that you are raising children that are scared of happy people.
Right. But this is what I'm saying though, and I can accept that people have become what they are, but I'm not going to say that we should keep one on standby just in case. That's it. Seem weird. I'm pretty sure they can find one any motherfucker where they are everywhere. So finding one ain't the motherfucking problem. It's the fact that you want us to keep them in our circle just in case. What does that lead to? Ain't that like, well, you know what I'm saying? Because you go to the gym, you go to the basketball court, you go to different, you know what I'm saying? That's like, you say,
their child want to be heterosexual. Why nobody came out and said that? Why he didn't say vice versa? If you're a happy couple, keep a hetero person around just in case your child is hetero and they want to speak with a hetero person.
That's what I'm saying. Why didn't he just say everybody need everybody just in case?
And it's very specific to boys.
Right. And why do the dad gotta be fucking second guess? Why you gotta go get a second opinion on your father?
Right. And
why does it have to be a gay guy?
Personal growth. It happens until you get to the age in life where you understand you, in part, because I know how you all like to say everything is one thing I said, but in part, you are your perception, right? So basically,
I'm not showing half the discussion. Listen, let's listen to this entirety, and then
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah, hold on. Let's listen to this entirety. That way the YouTube and the TikTok can listen to the whole thing. I'm gonna be quiet and I'm gonna just listen to the whole thing. And Manhattan, stop laughing.
All right, I'm gonna put it on mute.
All right, but
one of the things that I think a lot of times boys need is not just exposure to one guy.
One dad.
No matter how good the dad
is. He can't be everything.
He can't be everything. And then that boy may need somebody to give the boy some perspective on the dad.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
One of the most valuable things I learned as a guy was I had a gay professor in college. at a time when openly gay folks still weren't at one, who became one of my favorite professors and was a great guy and would call me out when I started saying stuff that was ignorant. You need that to show empathy and kindness. And by the way, you need that person in your friend group so that if you then have a boy who's gay or non-binary or whatever, they have somebody that they can go, okay, I'm not alone in this. Right. So
if you talking about the very, very beginning of it, like the beginning where he says like the
some
masculine,
of the definitions of manhood, I think, were negative.
right here,
right? You don't whine, you don't cry.
No
You're-
emotion.
You're not a jerk.
this part right here where he say some of the definitions of manhood is negative. This is the beginning part that you're talking about.
You don't whine, you don't cry.
No
You're-
emotion.
Some of the definitions of
And
manhood,
she's
I
still
think, were
answering
negative.
the shit for him.
Right? You don't whine, you don't cry.
No
You're-
emotion.
You're not a jerk.
No emotion. You hear what Michelle was saying, right? Okay. Now, as a woman, how the fuck is she speaking from the perspective of a man?
Either that or she's saying that.
No, I'm
he
just
has
saying.
no
I'm just saying. Like, how is she speaking from the perspective of a man?
I know. It's either that or like
She-
you said,
she-
an insult against him.
She giving you
specifically.
either that. If you would have said that, I'd have been like, "What you saying? Like, I ain't got no emotions. Like, I'm not sensitive." I'd have been like, "Damn, that's how you feel about me." So either she's saying that about Barack, that she perceived him to be emotionless, right? Or she got that big thing between her legs where she like, get in line, soldier. That's her. That's the captain and lieutenant. You know they was in the army together. You know they was army buddies, right?
I don't know anything about
Michelle Obama is Michael.
I had heard that part. I didn't hear any backstory.
All right. There's an interview where there was actually a transgender girl who did an interview.
Hold on. I want to still understand. First of all, he's obviously talking to a group of people. Right? He's obviously talking to people going through this stuff.
Who? Who's talking to that group of people?
Him. That's who he's.
Barack Obama is talking to the group of people that. That's not. You're making this shit up, bro. You're making this shit up. He literally said, "Boys." He didn't say anybody going through this. He didn't say to the trans community. He didn't say LGBTI2 identifiers. He didn't say none of that shit. He said boys. I don't know if you are hearing something differently, but what I heard was boys. He said all boys need someone around that might be able to teach them how to take.
He said teacher. He said basically, if you gay and you need to find a gay dad.
Happy.
Excuse me.
Nah, I'm gonna drop you. I'm gonna drop you if you keep on acting like you. Go ahead. Say it again. I know you're gonna say it again because you motherfuckers always say it again. Watch.
If you rainbow.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say rainbow. We said happy. We said we using the word happy over here. I know I'm about to drop him, right? He trying to play.
Good man, relax.
No, I
don't say nothing no more about no rainbow, no happies.
I think you should relax, right? First and foremost, I think you should relax, right? Because you're playing in my face, right? Secondly, you can't tell me what to do, nigga. I'm the host. And furthermore, y'all like keep on changing this up so y'all can make it like sound good. Like this shit don't sound good no matter how you look at it. Like it just don't sound good. What he's saying just don't sound good.
He looks like the guy from the Love.
Can I say something real quick?
Oh, the cruise doctor. I mean
Right.
the love boat. Soon you'll be taking another ride. All aboard. The love. Go ahead.
I just want to point out that this is a P3O message. It's a message for men to push
It's opening up the door. It's opening up the door for maps, right?
Children.
It's opening up the door for maps. Minor attracted people. Big Kev, what's going on with you?
Hey, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna end mass. Obama should be absolutely ashamed of himself. He should really be ashamed, but he not. So I'm just gonna say that I'm gonna end mass.
Yeah.
Hey, I just want to say something, but I want to be respectful to the whole, and I don't want to say no triggering words. I'm really about peace and healing, and a lot of things that we are up under do come from that word I was talking about, and it came in. And so, what Obama is, what I get from the topic is that we all have those happy people in our family, right? Sometimes the father can't be around. So if you got a happy uncle, sometimes the happy uncle got to go over there and play basketball with them or something like that. I'm in that situation. And so, I'm sorry?
But the thing is, everybody got one of them old uncles, that them weird ass uncles or aunties or cousins. Everybody got one of them that be at that backyard barbecue, that be at the family reunion, and there don't nobody say nothing to him, and they know what he on, but won't nobody say nothing to him. But the younger generation don't know what he on, but the older generation know who he is, and won't nobody say nothing to him.
A lot of people try to tie pedophilia with that.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm saying,
And so those are not in the same. When the Roman Catholic started to,
I'm just saying, Obama should.
If he just now, you see how he still went back and try to curve that narrative to go back and use other words like I don't know all the words that don't fit the fucking algorithm. Like, that's why I don't like giving people second chances to come back up, because people are so fucking arrogant and stuck in their ways that they'll still try to force their narrative on your panel afterwards.
Bless you, bro. Keep preaching the message, man.
Hey, blessings. Appreciate you for coming up. Well, no, I'm sorry. No blessings. I don't want you to be less. I don't want you to be less. Hey, man, be great. Be great at what you do, man. Be great on purpose.
We just came in here to say that little bit right there and just end mine. That's all. I just wanted to say that.
All right, bet. I appreciate you.
Obama should be really ashamed of himself.
All right. Appreciate you for coming up.
The only African president that came out and said, I want to give the Nation of Islam $1 billion to help our black community and get us together. And Obama told him no. We forgot about that, though. We forgot about that.
I got something even better than that. I have children that have a disease that only black people get. It's called sickle cell anemia. And I have a nonprofit organization, and we fight every day for people with sickle cell anemia. It's the oldest disease that's still existing now, and it has no funding. The people are treated like crap because they're black. A lot of them die.
Stagnant water.
My daughter's friend just passed away last week. She was only 25 years old because they left her in the room with under heavy medications with no monitors on. So she overdosed in the room, and we've been trying. The doctors and everything have been trying to get the administration. We were trying to get Obama's administration to please fund NIH so that they can find a cure for sickle cell, and they ignored us. And nobody wants to hear it. But when it came into office the first time, he heard us and he gave us funding.
Oh, you got my juices churning now. Because I never knew that was only black disease. I never knew that, but I'm gonna do a little research. But you got my juices churning. You know, everybody's disease.
Well, I hope your juices ain't turning.
Mm-hmm. Man, my juice is churning because I want to investigate now.
No, don't turn no juices.
People together about this now. Since you just said that, I'm gonna do some research and I'm gonna get people together.
Absolutely.
Man, listen, man. Leave this guy alone, man. He's trying to save his media career. He's not a very popular person. So maybe he tries to do his little where he at. That man didn't mean the happies. Speak to the happy. I heard him speaking to the happies. That's what I heard. You played it, I heard it. He's speaking to people who's in this situation. Let him save his media. Maybe that's the only, if you know.
So all boys are in this situation.
I don't think so.
So why? So how you say he's speaking to everybody that's in the situation? If he said, I think all boys. He said out his mouth. He said out his mouth. I think all boys need this.
Well, maybe what he meant by that is this.
Oh. Maybe what he meant. So now you're going to give us what you think he meant and say that's what he meant because it makes you feel right.
All right, so I'm gonna take it.
Nobody can tell us what he meant but him, and he told us exactly what the fuck he meant.
All right.
You don't want to accept it?
So what he's saying?
Do you not want to accept it?
I don't accept it. I don't know. I don't accept it. But I feel like he's making a point.
Okay, tell me what you think his point is.
The point that he's making is that, you know, in a community where a lot of fathers might not have a solid head on their shoulder because of social strife or whatever is going on in the community, socioeconomic, the whole gambit. Okay.
Are you watching the same media that we watching? Are you watching the same media that we watching? Because it looks like our black women are the ones, you know, pew-pewing people at McDonald's and poking up people at McDonald's. If we're going by the last two incidents that I observed. So you keep saying like our fathers are going, you know, the fathers, you know, heterosexual men are going through something and they need to be second guessed and watched or whatever. But it looked like our black women are going through something and nobody wants to accept it. It also looks like it's a nice fight against the heterosexual man in the household and nobody wants to accept it. And there seems to be some type of social agenda that's being pushed that's opening up the door for people that preys on our youth and nobody wants to accept it. So now I'm starting to think, what the fuck is really going on? Has to be the upside down world. This has to be the upside. I know I don't fit in this world because nothing makes sense. And y'all keep trying to make the shit that don't make sense.
Hey, what's up, bro?
What's going on?
Hey, man, here's what I got to say about all this stuff, man. Is that, you know, while he's saying that, you know, we should grow up with a gay guy.
Happy.
Okay.
Whoa, Dr. Manhattan. Come on, man. Mute up, bro. Mute up, man. Manhattan. Mute up. Stop trying to act like you run the damn platform, man. Chill out, bro. If you go to your own platform and host it, because you're not about to keep on. But go ahead.
It's Dez.
Go ahead, Dez.
Bro. What he's saying is demonic for one. And then, like I said, I don't have nothing against a person's sexual preference as long as you don't incorporate me with it. I'm cool. But this dude is talking about people who are afraid to say they're gay. I mean, say, you know, they in the closet, man. And see, if it's not that bad, why are you hiding it? You get what I'm saying? All these entertainers and all these people, if it's not bad, why are you hiding?
Right. If it was how he say it is, why he ain't come out about him and you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
No doubt.
But that's what I mean. Maybe this is to prep for that particular narrative.
It's just like
in case it come out.
Perry and the rest of these people and P. Diddy and the rest of these people, man, in this industry, man. And it's like,
but then that's going to say something else because that's going to say that he's been groomed.
Well, yeah,
nothing is that. If it's not bad, is what I'm saying. If it's not bad, why are you hiding it? If it's not embarrassing, why are you hiding it? If it's not a problem, why are you hiding it?
Right. Why is Michael pretending to be Michelle if it's not bad? If y'all, you know what I'm saying? If it's not frowned upon or whatever, why is Michael, you know what I'm saying? Why not Mike? Why Michael? Michael should be, you know what I'm saying? Michael should be authentically Michael, you know what I mean? I think
this is what these people do, man. They in other words, what they do is they try to lead you up into the coming out. You get what I'm saying? They lead you up into it. They give you hints and they give you little little hints or whatever. But you shouldn't have to do all that. If it's not bad under the eyes of God, and you know for facts that it is, then I believe, it's demonic. That's just like me saying I come into your house and I don't let you know I'm a kleptomaniac and I steal all your stuff. You see what I'm saying? And then you discover now I'm a kleptomaniac. When I should have just told you that from the door. Right?
You'd never,
Tell you from the door
you'd never got in. You'd never got
you
in.
know it's bad, and I know
On one
it's bad.
side, you defended him. So on one side, you defended him because you said that he's speaking to people who want to come out the closet. And then on the other side, you going against him, you saying, he's bringing out the demon in these households. So
No.
Not defending
What we
drugs,
saying is,
defending
he's
taking
projecting.
content.
That's what we saying.
What I'm saying
He's
is this is what
projecting. There's a little boy inside of him.
Most people who are want to say they bisexual or they on that side of the fence or whatever, they try to lead this thing up to coming out saying, "Oh, this is really me." You get what I'm saying? Because Tyler Perry and the rest of them and P. Diddy, all they have to do is say, "This is me." I don't care what you think.
Right.
So I'm not defending any of it. Because that's not me. I'm not on the other side of the fence. I'm all, I'm married with 7 kids.
now let me ask you this. Married with 7 kids.
No, you're not asking him questions about his personal life. No, keep it on the topic.
All right. No, it's the same topic. Has your wife...
No, it's not. It's not the same topic. You trying to ask him some questions about how his wife or that's personal. No, keep it on the topic, bro.
Basically, what Barack is saying is, you know how when women introduce their sons to different men, like certain single women, like if you're a single woman and you don't have a husband, you know how a woman will be like, "Oh, good exposure from this, this guy," and then the coach, or go get exposure from this guy, the businessman. So that's basically 90% of what he's saying. Like you said, it's the woman's perspective. I said you had called that correctly. The woman's perspective is, don't build nothing.
Second guess the man.
No, it's who you know. It's who you know to make it. No offense, man. So I'm just saying, some women, right? They feel like, get the leg up by who you know. Whereas a true man's perspective should be, build a building, start a farm. But, a woman would be like, nah, you got to get out and meet everybody. And it's who you know.
Isn't it all speculation, though? Isn't life speculated based on the person's perspective?
All the time.
Right, because you got to think about this. Like, I want you to really think about this. If we was to say, if we was to ask the pastor, due to the fact that the pastor hold a particular title, if you say, "Pastor, what do you think boys need?" They're going to say God, right? If you ask a Muslim, you know what I'm saying? This is how you know what people praise and what people this is a fucking sex demon. Like this is a real life incubus or a succubus. Like, you mean to tell me that boys need a happy person in their life in order to get empathy, sympathy? Their mom didn't teach them empathy, sympathy, or anything like that. That tells me right there that something is not right. That you literally tried to tie empathy, sympathy, and all of that stuff with
You know what I want to know?
exactly.
What I want to know is, where do you get all of this Michelle Obama is a man energy from? Is that true belief, or you?
I looked into it, man. When the mom passed away, the mom left the will, and in the will, the mom said, I leave everything behind to my son Michael. And then there was pictures that shows that they were in the army together, where it was a man that looked exactly like Michelle. And there's stuff that shows that Michelle did not have her kids. I thought she had her kids, but when I looked it up, come to find out, she didn't have neither one of the kids. Because I was thinking the same thing. I said, ain't no fucking way. Ain't no fucking way. Ain't no fucking way. So I was like,
I'm gonna give it that you really believe that conspiracy theory is gonna send you over the top with 1 million followers, but there's no way in the world you believe Michelle Obama is a man.
I'm telling you, when I looked into it, the absence of proof can't be used as evidence. That's what I'm telling you. There's no fucking proof that she's a woman.
Right. But here's the thing, though. It sounds like, like I said, President Obama is trying to lead up to his bisexuality. Get what I'm saying?
Or whatever ality he's in.
Exactly. And so it's like, okay, wait a minute. So what you telling me as a father that I got to have a guy who likes another man around my sons so I can go to prison? That's what you saying? So I can get locked up? It sounds like some me, bro. I don't need no setups around here, though, for real.
Oh,
and
shit.
if you believe that, then something's wrong. Something is real. You need to evaluate your brain if you believe that.
It just doesn't make sense. Like that just doesn't make sense. And the crazy thing is, like, everybody's trying to make it seem like that sounds normal. How does that? I know we're in an upside down world. If that shit hit y'all earlobes and then transferred into y'all brain as normal, I need to reevaluate you. I need to reevaluate you.
It's not going to suggest that another man who is doing all the things that you would prevent, or you don't want.
First of all, as a real man, I'm not even thinking about where the fuck my son is putting something at. That's first and foremost. I just want to say that. I just want to say that as a man who actually raised boys, right? Now I can say that I was happy when my son at 3 years old came to me and said, Dad, every time I look at girls, my wee get hard. I was happy when I heard that. I was, but you know what I'm saying? I'm not what I'm not. I wasn't taking back the possibility that he could. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't taking that, but I wasn't. That's not something that a father fucking thinks about. It's not my job to determine what my son is doing with his body. That's not my fucking job. That's weird as hell that as a father, he would think about what his son is doing with his body. Your son's going to inquire about himself, and then he's going to come to you and maybe ask some questions. But I don't think that's a door that a parent can open up. And it goes both ways. Like when my daughter was coming about her, cycle, like I wasn't about to have the conversation with her. I remember one time I literally drove all the way back from New Jersey so her mom can have the conversation, because I was like, that's not a conversation that, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't want her to think anything awkward about the conversation. You know what I mean?
It's not just that, bro. We don't know about nothing. We have no idea what they go through when they going through that.
No. I grew up in a house with a lot of girls. Why are you calling them? I grew up in a house with a lot of girls, and to be honest, like I could tell you, like I know when some of my sisters had heavy flows, and that shit will smell like iron. Like you can smell that shit. That shit is I'm like, damn, why it smell like iron in this motherfucker? Like what the fuck? So it might have been my nose. My nose might have been sensitive, but when I was a kid, I knew when they was going through that shit. I knew when it was. I knew I watched that.
I got sisters too, but I didn't really know about until I got an adult. I heard about it, but I've never seen my sisters. They never revealed. You know what I'm saying, or my mom and none of that. You know what I mean? I guess they was trying to keep it from me. I knew in high school they was teaching about it.
So you ain't never walk in the bathroom after they came out the bathroom and smelled that strong ass iron smell?
Nah, bro, your nose is better than mine. They never, unless they was trying to hide it, I've never seen like the tampons or none of that bleeding around.
Yeah, they trying to act like that copper smell, that smell of copper don't be in the air. You know that copper smell. Come on. I'm just saying, y'all they trying to act like they don't know that copper smell. I know that motherfucker copper smell. I'm shit. Here you go. Here's a piece of chocolate and some Pepsi. Here you go.
Yeah, but see, the Obama, man, you know, I don't know what kind of weird shit he's on right now to say something like that. You know what I mean? Which I know most guys are not gonna agree with what he's saying. You know, because what does that have to do with, you know, emotions come from God? I mean, if you're gonna cry, you're gonna cry.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, how didn't he give it to God? Like, how did he say you need to get how did he say you need a happy man to teach you about empathy, sympathy, and the other emotions? That shit don't make no sense. So you pray. You didn't. So what he's saying is, no, because I'm gonna tell you why it don't make no sense. Here, why it don't make no sense. So he's telling us that he didn't gain empathy, sympathy, or any of that stuff until he got to college. Is that what he's telling us?
I believe so. And then he's trying to tell us that he got the tendencies of, you know, the bisexuality, man. I mean, unless he just should come out and say, look, I'm a bisexual person and accept it. And this is my opinion.
Man, Obama ain't no bisexual.
Man, Denzel Washington was trying to push that shit too, though. Denzel Washington was trying to push that shit too. Denzel Washington said because they didn't accept his part in a movie, Kissing a Man, he's only going to do 5 more movies in America, and then he's done.
Hey, did you hear about what Eddie Griffin said about when he did, is the reason why he don't do movies no more?
What'd he say?
He said that when he went into the last meeting, dude had his pants off.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
You
yeah.
heard about that?
Yeah, I heard.
See, that's what I'm trying to say, man. You never know who you're dealing with, bro.
Man, happy conversation is, man, I don't even like happy conversations, man. Let the happies have it.
All right, so Manhattan, are you familiar with this other incident that took place in the McDonald's right here? The manager said, not in my McDonald's. She told an employee to go home. Well, she told the employee to take out the trash. The employee said, called her mom or whatever, said she wasn't taking out the trash. So the manager told her to go home. The employee called her mom. The mom came up there. They got into a little scuffle or whatever the case may be. The manager, pew both of them. She didn't unalive them, but she, and then the manager and the mom got locked up.
I heard about this. About this, man.
What's your thoughts?
What city is this?
I think this was Missouri, but I'm not sure because one article said Missouri, one article said Illinois. So now I'm kind of confused, and I'm thinking like, are they just fucking pushing this story out there to, you know what I mean?
It could have been from Chicago. It could have been East St. Louis, Illinois.
Oh, St. Louis, Illinois. So it's still kind of Missouri.
That's number one.
Yeah, it's right there on that border.
Okay.
One unalive capital in the nation right now, St. Louis.
Yeah, that's in St. Louis. I used to travel there all the time. They crazy over there, man.
That's it. War's on. That's how they living. They living in it.
Yeah. It's just coming. Then you got Memphis right next door, man.
But that's what I'm saying, though. Like, is this about to be a wave of energy that goes around where, managers? But this is going back to the. This is going back to the
4G. It's in the 5G. It's just a wave. Did y'all see that movie, Kingsmen?
Yeah, where they came out with that, where the second Kingsman, where they came out with that chemical that was making people go off, and the one lady, she put it in the church, and everybody was in the church fighting and all of that shit.
Yeah. wasn't chemical. It
It
was
was
4G.
it was like a
Cell phone.
it was yeah, it was like a berserker.
Prince said, it's which I kind of think he got a point. He said it was them chemtrails. You see them chemtrails when they be spraying that shit in the morning.
So nah, because then that shit would just be happening on the street. This shit is happening at McDonald's. McDonald's managers and employees. This is a McDouble.
I might go crazy too. Honestly.
Have
you ever heard
chemtrails in that McDonald's there?
He said that would catch people on the block. He said if you in the building, they ain't gonna get caught.
Right. If it was a wave like that with the chemtrails, then it would be like, you know what I'm saying? You could say like it was like more so like, but why is it happening inside, particular people? Or why is it like, I mean, I see outrage everywhere. I see people tripping out everywhere. I see people using their vehicles as weapons. I see people, you know what I'm saying? And I'm saying like, if this is the beginning, right? Because the summertime is usually supposed to be chill. Everybody's supposed to be, what the fuck's about to happen when school starts back up? Because everybody stresses school starting back up. Every parent stress school starts back up, and every kid stress school starts back up. And that's going to push off a lot of etheric energy. Their buildings are going to be rocking with fucking egotistical energy. You know what I mean? So what's going to happen? The teachers are going to be, listen, I promise you the teachers are going to run up out of a lot of schools. I promise you the teachers are going to run up out of a lot of schools. These kids is like diabolical with this shit. They like, if you say something to me, I'll be at your house tonight.
Yeah.
I'll pull up.
But you got.
They telling you that on camera. They telling you that. I just watched a girl who literally was in the bathroom, turned the light off in the bathroom. One of her friends was in the room, like cursing her out, saying she's like, I told you not to come here with that shit with my kids here. And she went live and she set the camera up and then she turned the light off and she
look, man. It's
and then look, and then the girl froze, right? And there was another girl that was in the room that was like, yo, what? She was like, call the cops. Like, she shot me. And then the girl that originally started it, she said, I told you not to come here with that shit with my kids here, right? And then after she realized that she hit her, she said, that bitch shot. Like.
You know why though? Because there's no
that shit is normal to them.
Relationship between them. That's like a situation where
nah, man, the next gen, you ain't trying to understand what the hell going on, man. You ain't trying to. Stop it, bro. Stop it, bro. You don't understand what's going on, bro. You are not watching this next generation and how they are building up different levels of combustional energy.
That they realize don't care nothing about them.
No, I ain't saying no. That's not true. That's not true. They just building it up towards our older generation, their parents. They saying that y'all old. They like y'all old motherfuckers need to get out the way. They don't want to come. You know what I'm saying? It's some of them that's out there. Fine. It's some of them out there getting jobs, taking care of old people so they can go around torturing them. Promise you.
Listen, man. Listen, that's fine. It's gonna happen. You never hated you never been mad. I know you said you was in the foster care for.
No, bro. What are you talking about? Don't sit up here and teach me, and don't try to tell me it's okay to hate and be mad and all of that stuff. That's
hated your parents.
No. Okay. Yes. One time when I was getting a bunch of ass whoopings and shit like that, I thought about doing some shit. Yeah.
Hey, kids, man.
But that's not what we're talking about. 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 You keep on justifying it. So let me ask you this. You're okay with the Afeni situation, right? Because you're just kids. It's just all testosterone, right?
Her situation?
Yeah, the Afeni situation.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
The Afeni situation. You okay with that? It's all testosterone, right?
Oh, this is what I'm trying to tell you.
And this situation, wait. Now you justifying it. You just said it's okay. It's all testosterone that they're doing it.
Somehow.
Hold on. Make up your mind now. I need you to make up your mind. I need you to. All right, I need you to stand in the paint on this one. I need you to stand in the paint on this one. You stated that it's okay because it's all just testosterone, right?
I say it's all okay, but you gotta.
Now you want to be subjective, okay?
Exactly. Everything is subjective. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Every kid's chemicals is subjective.
Every
kid
kid's
is
chemicals.
different. You're gonna be in a room with one kid who might humble towards you, and then you in the room with the next kid who you said tries to take you over and challenge you. They're all different. It's all chemicals, man. They're just children. They don't even have sensible minds. I mean, you grow.
So I want you to think about what you said. I want you to think about what you said. Hold on, stop. Let me prove to you just you full of shit. You just said that they're all, kids, so on and so forth. They all have impressionable minds. So how is it that you don't see the wrong in Barack Obama saying that we should keep this type of person around, knowing that our kids have impressionable minds? Why are we keeping something around that we are not sure that our kids want to be oppressed upon them, right?
We don't even have the same opinion of what he's saying and who he's talking to on that one.
Now we don't know who he's talking to.
Let me just.
He's talking
to a group of people. You think he's talking to everybody?
No. You think he's talking to the LGBTIQ community, but he specifically said boys. But okay,
he ain't talking to me, my boy. But look,
are you a boy?
Look, I have a boy, 21 years old. He's not GBT either.
But are you a boy? And that's not a boy. 21 years old is not a boy. That's a grown ass man.
He's my boy.
Well, I mean, I got boys too. Then shit, fuck it.
So look, let me prove to you how somebody can believe something totally nonsensical, and it's just because of where they're at. It's just because of where they're at in their life development. You haven't taken the time to Google Michelle Obama's baby's pictures, so there's no proof out there that she's a woman. You're taking 2 minutes to Google when she's in the hospital holding her babies.
Hey, Dr. Manhattan. Hey, listen, Dr. Manhattan, you dumb as hell. She wrote in her book herself that she had 2 surrogates. So you is dumb as hell. That's how I know you ain't doing proper research. The lady herself said she had 2 surrogates, and you want me to believe a motherfucking Google photo. You know what? You go back and tell Google I said read her book, okay? You whatever Google, whatever you Googling, you tell Google I said go read the fucking book. That's how I know you special, man. You something wonderful. Get your ass up out of here with that dumbass shit you talking about. The lady in her own book, she said I use surrogates. And this motherfucker talking about some Google photos. Show me you old Google warrior. Get your motherfucking Google warrior ass up out of here. Motherfucker gonna try to sit. You know what? We need a song break. Man, I'm so tired. Lord, please, if you hear me, can you send me some intellectual people down here, please? Because right now I feel like I'm in a world full of non-intellectuals, and they keep on trying to, do this weird stuff. And I don't know if this is the dimension this is not the dimension that you said was going to be down here when I came down here. Something is off. Right, couldn't find any type of person. She said it in the book herself. That dude talking about something on Google. He sit up on Google.
When you're faced with a fact, you switch right up, you don't remember all of that. Showing off like you're in the pageant, bragging on about status. Little do they know there's a real dark method to your madness. All the hate you grew inside, tragic. From a monster to the victim, play the role so dramatic. Moving on, now it's time for me to wave my magic wand. You're no match for the power of my tongue. Let me show you how it's done. I can to terrorize you for fun. Demon, be gone. You're a narcissist. Can't hide issues. I don't mind trying trauma. Now they want you. You're a narcissist. A reaction. If it's all for show, gotta let you go. Can't dwell on it, your whole. Get back, I don't want your static. Nothing but a drama addict. Those repeated cycles. I have studied all your habits, but the way you stay, you savage. Try to point your pain on me. Turn to window, package, moving on. Now it's time for me to wave my magic wand. No more dragging me through the dirt. Teach you right wrong. Run you like a marathon. Once that truth turns to karma, you're done. Demon, be gone. You're a narcissist. Can't hide it, shut it. Tied down, try your trauma. Now they you. You're a narcissist. A reaction. I'll just give it up. You lose it, You're a narcissist. It's always your way. It's your lane. Doesn't matter what I try to say. You want what's mine. Try to bring me down, try to take me out, but you can't steal my shine. Try to take my soul, try to switch them roles. That destiny swapping, mocking, blocking shit. It's a no-go. All that ego doesn't fit. Only care for the glam, only care for the glitz. Way too grubby, but you wanna give gifts. Indian giver on a power trip. Acting like you rich. All the money in the world wouldn't change your attitude. But if you want change, point of view as you then you don't. Take your exit. You're no match for the highest winner. Over you. True. Now back to the money. Say you built the hive, forcing me the honey. Don't wanna be exposed, so you're acting all chummy. No one is around, now you wanna act funny. Pick a personality, burn bridges, friendship, fatality. You see it one way. I see duality like calories, burn away them dark principalities. You're a narcissist, can't hide it, shut it. Tied down, your trauma. They won't let you. You're a narcissist, a reaction. I'll just give you what you lose it, You're a narcissist. It's always your way. It's your lane. Doesn't matter what I try to say. Decline. You want what's mine. Try to bring me down, try to take me out, but you can't steal my shine. You're a narcissist. Can't hide it, shut it. Tied down by your trauma. They won't let you. You're a narcissist. A reaction. I'll just give you nothing. You're a narcissist. It's always your way. It's your lane. Doesn't matter what I try to say. Decline. You want what's mine. Try to bring me down, try to take me out, but you can't steal my shine. You're a narcissist. You like a lot. You spying, lying. Always gotta do the most.
That's one of the things that I think a lot of times
I'm
boys
sorry. It
need
probably was
is
echoing. I'm
not
sorry.
just exposure to one guy.
One dad.
One dad. No matter how good the dad
Is. He can't be
like
everything.
he can't be everything. And that boy may need somebody to give the boy some perspective on the dad.
This is
Yeah, right.
puppetry.
One of the most valuable things I learned
right here.
as a guy,
Somebody
was-
told him to say this shit.
I had a gay professor
Somebody told him to say this
in
shit.
college
This is orchestrated.
at a time when openly gay folks still weren't out.
Somebody said
Who
vitro.
became one of my favorite professors and was a great guy and would call me out when I
See, vitro is just another nice way of saying it, because if we are already having a kid, right, that means that our DNA is already going to be inserted into that kid, right? You would not need vitro unless someone else was carrying it for you, because then you would say, I want this person's DNA and this person's DNA to be in this embryo, right? So Dr. Manhattan, however you're looking at this, that's just another nice way of saying fucking artificial inseminated. And let me reset real quick.
Afternoon.
Damn, hold on. Is that post? Your post has reached 500. Oh.
Sad one. Now a sad.
Everybody want to talk about this McDonald's thing.
Yeah.
Started saying stuff that was ignorant.
Because I think it's a McDonald's wave.
You need that
Mm-hmm.
to show empathy and kindness. And by the way, you need that person in your friend group so that if you then have a boy who's gay or
Listen to what now I want y'all.
They have somebody that they.
I want y'all to think about this. Michelle Obama is saying, you need to have this is a woman agreeing that she herself cannot teach her kids empathy or sympathy, or you know what I mean? That what?
Go, okay, I'm not alone in this.
Yeah.
Right. So
that is just weird. That is just weird. Barack Obama got to be ashamed of himself for that.
some of the
There's got to be a
definitions of
humiliation
manhood, I
ritual.
think, were negative. Right.
I'm telling you, I think
You don't
it's-
whine. You don't cry.
Something's gonna happen where
No
You're-
emotion.
You're not a jerk.
They ready to be outed.
I do
Yeah.
like the
So
thing
they
you brought up though
preparing to
about
be
being a
outed.
protector.
the truth
because
has to come out.
For
right?
some reason,
they might be preparing
that
for this truth.
part
to
of it,
come
I
out.
think, appealed to me, and it, at its best, it then counterbalanced the idea of being strong, right? Like you're strong not to pick on people,
Yeah.
right? Not to be a bully,
Yeah.
not to dominate others. Instead, it's strength in order to protect, right? And for me, a lot of being a man was being self-sufficient. Right? The idea of I can handle myself and make my way through the world.
What? To me, the idea of being a man is being self-sufficient, to say that I can handle myself in the world, right? But that, what does that have to do with, you know, a gay, like somebody coming to your kid and what the see? This is why I say they do a lot of just circle talk. That's why I say it just be a lot of circle talk. You know what I mean? Because this is circle talk.
And
Those politicians.
that's one of the things that I think a lot of times boys need is not just exposure to one guy,
One dad.
one
But a multitude of guys. Your boys need exposure to a plethora of guys. You know, it's raining men. Hallelujah. It's raining men. Hey, hey, hallelujah. No? No? I mean, I thought Barack Obama was saying it's that type of party going on, you know? That's really what he's saying. This motherfucker want to go to prison or some shit. Barack Obama want our kids to be raised up in prison. Fucking men for everybody. Yeah, just and this is just weird because I'm too busy worried about that my sons are healthy and you know that my sons are, you know what I mean, like thinking properly or whatever. Like I'm not sitting there worried about what is their sexual preference.
Right.
Like that's up for God. That's up for them and God to determine. That's not up for me to determine what's my kid's sexual preference. Like that shit weird as hell that he would throw that in the mix. That tells you what God he serves. If this is not a tell on what God he served, I don't know what is. This tells me everything I need to know about the God that Barack Obama serves. That's what this tells me. Everything I need to know about the God he served. Because obviously, the God he served can't be the God I serve. Because the God I serve will never tell me to send my child to another man for understanding. It tells me it says don't lean on your own understanding. So why the freak would I send my kid to another man to lean on another man's understanding? You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Dad, no matter how good the dad is,
He can't be
like he
everything.
can't be everything. And then that boy may need
Now
some.
I want y'all to think about that. If that's not a slap in the face right there, because the Bible teaches you to honor thy mother and father. So if he's telling you that, you know, the dad can't be everything, how are you honoring your mother and father? If he's sitting here telling you that you might need a opinion on your dad, then how is that honoring thy mother and father? You get what I'm saying? Like everything he's saying is a biblical slap in the face to any Christian.
But to give
This
the boys
goes
some
against the
perspective on
commandment.
dad, right?
Yeah.
One of the most valuable things I learned as a guy was I had a gay professor.
One of the most valuable things I learned as a what was that I was supposed to be again? Because that's what I hear him saying. What am I pretending to be again? Oh, what I've learned as a guy.
Most valuable things I learned as a guy was I had a gay professor in college at a time when openly gay folks still weren't out of line, who became one of my favorite professors and was a great guy and would call me out when I started saying stuff that was ignorant. You need that to show empathy and kindness. And by the way, you need that person in your friend group so that if you then have a boy who's gay or non-binary or what have you, they have somebody that they can go, okay, I'm not alone in this.
Yeah.
Right. So
That man said, you need that in your friends group. You need that in your friends group so that way, you know, they can say, okay, I'm not alone in this. Well, first and foremost, they need that in their friends group. You can't tell me to put that in my friends group so they can say that they're not alone. They already have a friends group. Like, so why would I have to change my friends group to appease my son's preference? That shit don't even make sense. None of what the fuck he was saying makes sense. None of what Barack Obama was saying made sense. I'm sorry. I'm trying to make it make sense.
Well, we've got a question today from a listener in San Francisco named Emma.
okay, I want to hear from Emma.
And let's hear from Emma so we can dive into this Barack before you got to the White House. So your strategy.
And now that I'm not, that I say even behind her back.
Yeah.
Every one of my young male staff members, when they talk to me about dating and relationships and what to look for, I say, look, the starting point is this person is going to raise your children alongside. And so I'll be honest with you. Michelle being Malia and Sasha's mom, that made all my difference. And then I do think, for whatever reason, we had similar strategies in the sense that I think we both believe that you give unconditional love to kids, but you also give them structure. That you're always there for them and keeping them safe, but you're also saying as early as 2 or 3, no, you can't do that. No, you can't have that. We believed in explaining why, but we also believed in being firm we had bedtimes and bath times, and you know, you had to eat your vegetables even if you didn't like them.
Right.
And you couldn't act stupid in public.
Yeah.
And couldn't do it.
whine.
Couldn't whine
For what
or
you
throw
wanted.
tantrums. And so we had, I think, a shared vision of how to, you know, what your mom always used to talk about. You're raising adults.
Right.
And so you're starting off saying to them, here are consequences for your actions. Here's responsibilities that we think you can handle. Make mistakes and learn from them. I do think, though, thinking about raising boys in the same way you're thinking about raising daughters, which is how do you make them good, responsible people who know how to function and know how to understand themselves well enough that they can navigate this really complicated world, and setting high expectations. So there are a lot of these things that apply to boys and girls. I do think that there are some particular issues with boys that as a society we're not addressing. I do think as a society we have to create more structures for boys and men to have guidance, rituals, frameworks, encouragement.
Why he used ritual as a word?
We ain't even supposed to know about rituals. Right? Y'all keep trying to make it seem like this is AI or some shit. Like, what? Wait, half the adults wasn't even taught the motherfucking rituals. How are we supposed to teach our kids the rituals? Huh? One's in the chat. Was y'all taught rituals? Stop right there, Barack. Let's talk about these rituals. Hold on, Barack. Wait a minute, Barack. You thought you were just going to slide that in there? Let's discuss these rituals that you're talking about, Barack. We need to talk about these rituals. That man said rituals? Rituals. Hold up. Wait a minute. Rituals? What rituals? What type of rituals? What are we talking about here? What type of structure is we building here? Y'all keep on telling me this shit don't sound weird, but the further I get into this damn interview, the more I'm like, uh-oh. We might need to pull out the motherfucking Scooby-Doo mystery van after this shit.
To be able to meet a wide range of role models so that whatever their inclinations, they can see a path to success that isn't just sports or money, making a lot of money. And so that's on all of us together. What I would say to Emma would be, in your community, even if you have a wonderful male partner who's in the house, I think it still would be good to find assets in the community, people in the community, friends in your community, places of worship, community organizations, what have you, where there are a bunch of men who can be sort of elders to boys. And so they're not just looking at one particular role model, but many. And one of the things when Michelle and I first started dating and I'd go over to your guys' house, one of the things I loved was just, seeing all your uncles and your cousins. And there were
Did you not have family or something?
Barack is sick. Barack Obama is sick. He sound like he one thing I love about coming around your family is seeing all your uncles and cousins. I like seeing the men in your family.
A bunch of different kinds of men.
Mhm.
You know, there were men that were kind of soft-spoken, and then there were men that were loud, and there were men who were engineers, and then there were men who were, you know.
Why is he out? Why is he telling us there's so many different men in the world? This nigga is out here window shopping or something. I love men. There's all different types of men. There's, you know, some who are soft-spoken. There's men who are, what the fuck is you?
Comment and
Man, if you hear me start talking about men like that, slap the shit out of me, okay? Slap the shit out me. If you start hearing me talking about there's fat men, short men, skinny men, wide men, tall men, smack me. That's a fucking sausage party. This motherfucker is talking about a sausage fest. This is sick. This is weird. You're talking about something. Listen to the whole thing. Hell no. Because the little bit of pieces that I heard is disturbing. Why the fuck do I want to listen to the whole thing?
Police officers, or they drove, you know,
A jitney
cab. Yeah.
A jitney cab. A jitney cab. Why the fuck did you say a jitney cab? A gypsy cab? A jitney cab? What are you talking about, Michelle? This is Michael and Barack's fantasies. This is what they talking about right now. They probably be role playing different fucking men and shit that come in the house. Like, what are you gonna do today? Today I'm gonna be your taxi. I'm gonna drive you all over the place. Like, for real, man. They got some sick fantasies or some shit going on, man. I don't like it. And the kids didn't like it either. That's why they don't got nothing to do with them right now.
And that's one of the things that I think a lot of times boys need is not just exposure to one guy.
One dad.
One dad. No matter how good the dad is.
He can't be
Like,
everything.
he can't be everything. And then that boy may need somebody to give the boy some perspective on the dad.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
what the freak? What is this show?
This is her show.
I hate what?
This is her show. Michelle
people who are
Obama.
rich
Like,
already
this is,
need to come
I didn't
on?
find this on no random page. Like, this is on her page. Like, this is Michelle
Come
Obama's
on,
page.
You already are
This
rich.
is her page.
You don't have to take a part of the internet too.
Let me see.
Wow. For what? It has to be harvesting.
Barack Obama on what it takes to raise boys and how Michelle made. See, like, how is Michelle and Barack Obama telling us how to raise boys if they didn't raise boys?
Yeah. And then I'm a listener
And so we had, I think, a shared vision.
Me, because I wasn't sleep deprived.
it's me to a question.
I took the night shift.
He took
'Cause I'm the night owl.
shift.
Yeah.
He's the night owl, and that helped me because I wasn't sleep deprived. Because I would pump while I was breastfeeding, which wasn't for a long time, and I would go to bed at a reasonable bedtime, and I could hand my baby, and I will say because she was my baby, over to this guy. And
This
know
is Stinky
that,
Man.
and know that she would be alive.
Why isn't he the dad? Why is he the guy? And she's my baby because she's my baby. Why did she say that? And why were you breastfeeding if she wasn't your baby? If she was a surrogate, is that
Because it's a lie.
something that
Think about it. She's
can
saying,
do?
I can go to sleep and hand my baby over to this guy, not her father. You know what I mean?
Right.
I can hand my baby over to this guy and know when I wake up in the morning, my baby's alive. What? The fuck? Man.
Morning.
Right.
You know, because I would pump while I was breastfeeding, which wasn't for a long time. And I would go to bed at a reasonable bedtime, and I could hand my baby, and I will say because she was my baby, over to this.
See, now a real mom wouldn't have to justify why she is explaining this is her baby, right? She wouldn't say, I would hand my baby over. She's saying, I will hand my baby, and I will say my baby, right? Over to this guy.
Guy. And
This
know
is Stinky
that,
Man.
and know that she would be alive in the morning.
And he's talking about himself.
You know, and he relished that time. But I also had to let go, right? I had to say, you know what? Whatever is happening between 8 at night and 5 in the morning, I can't micromanage that relationship. They're going to be okay. She's a baby. He was the one who got her sleep trained, because I wouldn't have been able to handle letting my baby cry at night.
Right.
But over the course of a week, I think it was 3 days. It wasn't even a long time, at 5 months. So once he did that, so we had kids who slept through the night from the time they were 5 months old. So because we shared that responsibility, and Barack owned a huge part of the
Think about this. She said, we had kids that slept through the night, right? But at a particular part, she says, I had to relinquish whatever was happening between the hours of this and that, right? I had to just, accept the fact that whatever was going on, I couldn't manage it, right? But we had kids that slept through the night. If you had kids that slept through the night, what the fuck was you managing?
Right. So for 3 days, he did this job.
For 3 days. But because after that, they slept through the night.
Right.
This shit sound fabricated.
girls as infants. It established a relationship between him and them that, carries through even today.
That brings me, what you said, what you both have said brings me to a question that I'm going to ask, but I'm going to contextualize it with the fact that after you guys became famous, people would ask me about you guys meeting and how you came about and the origin story and all of that. And what I always talked about.
Presidency is fame.
I mean, you are pretty famous once you.
I mean, but just to say it like that, like that's like he act like he talking to two actors or some shit. Like after you guys became famous. No, after you guys became a part of history, right?
I guess people see it how they.
And it warms my heart to this day is that Barack's background is so different from our background. I mean, it's so different, and everybody knows and I used to say, in spite of the fact that we were raised so differently,
is this her
somehow
brother?
you developed the exact same values
This her father?
that we did.
So much of Barack reminded us of our dad.
Our dad, and
that's the brother.
Stuff he said, stuff you said, and it was
His
like
consistency, his honesty, his, his humor.
Your authenticity before people were using that word, authenticity. your calmness, and it just I brought that up because I think people who haven't asked me that question should know that, and probably want to know how did that evolve?
Yeah, it's interesting because this relates to how I was thinking about fatherhood too, right? As I think most people now know, you guys certainly know, I did not know my dad.
Right.
He was in Kenya by the time I had memories. He left my mother and I when I was 2. I met him once, and
no wonder why. That's why he's against the fucking, because he's saying, like, I didn't realize how to be a man until I met this fucking gay guy in college. You know what I mean? My father wasn't there. So you were raised by your mother. And now hold on. I want us to really think about this. Where the person whose father was not in the household and does not have a son is telling us what he thinks boys need. He's projecting. He's trying to justify what he needed and make it okay.
Right.
Your dad was not in the house. You don't have a son in the house, but you're sitting here giving advice on fatherhood. Whose fatherhood? Whose fatherhood is he giving advice on? Because it's not his. He met his dad one time. And he said, like, the memories that he said, you only have memories. The memories that he didn't come until whatever, when he was in basic training or some shit. Man, this is crazy.
So I'm really raised by my mom and my grandparents for about 4 years. My stepfather, when we were in Indonesia, who was a very kind man. Maya's dad, my sister's dad, and I have very fond memories of him. But one of the reasons it worked was he didn't pretend like
he was my dad.
Our relationship was more than it was.
Yeah, he didn't pretend like he was your dad.
Your mom, I love you. I'm going to take care of you, but
you're not mine.
You're
not my kid.
We're different. And then my grandfather was older. He's white, generationally different. A good heart, but was troubled in a lot of ways.
Because you were still a nigga to him.
Had issues.
Yeah.
So I didn't have like the obvious role model the way you did. All right, here's how you are a dad.
So why the fuck is we taking advice from you? Why not take advice from the other fucking guy then? Why take advice from your ass if you know nothing about a motherfucking dad? Why the fuck is you giving us advice on dads?
I have a bunch of uncles around or other immediate family father figures. So I'm kind of piecing it together. And
which is true for so many. That's the story for so many.
Shut the fuck up, Michael. He wasn't trying to tell your story. You keep your motherfuckers when you ready to come out the closet, we be ready to motherfucking listen to your ass, Michael. But until then, shut the fuck up. You sitting there rubbing your motherfucking arms like this holds so true to me. You remember our dad, right? You remember our daddy. You remember daddy. Shut the fuck up, Michael. When it's time for you to tell your story, we'll be here waiting, motherfucker.
Boys growing up these days.
I mean, in that sense, I think as unusual as my background was, that part of it isn't that unusual, right? It was kind of typical. And I think a couple of things happened. Now, I was loved, and that's a starting point, right? The people who were around me cared about me, and I never felt an absence of that. And the second thing I think you learn to do when you're in that situation is, all right, I got to sort of, I have to adopt role models. I got to pieces them together and get a sense of, all right, what does it mean to be a man? Now, later on, as I got older, you'd start recognizing that some of the ideas about manhood that were being given to us back in the 70s and the 80s, not all of them were great, right?
Can I ask you both to talk about what manhood meant for you? What it meant for you when you were little boys coming up, what you thought it was, and
Tell us what the fuck manhood meant to you, Michael. What does manhood mean to you, Michael? Tell us that shit. Don't fake like you don't know what the fuck manhood was to you. What can you tell us what you think manhood was like? Can you you act like you outside of knowing what the fuck boys was doing when you was a kid?
what you then came to understand it to actually be?
Well, I don't remember maybe when I was a really young child, other than the idea that guys were strong, they didn't whine, they were tough.
Wait a minute. So you don't remember your childhood, you piece together a fucking manhood, and now you're giving us advice? You don't remember what it's like to be a boy. You don't. Who the fuck? Who wiped his memory and gave him a memory? Who wiped him? Because think about it. He kept on saying, like, I don't remember my father too much outside of this. I don't remember my stepfather too much outside of that. I don't really remember anything besides that you're not supposed to whine and what? You don't remember big boys, they don't cry, they don't cry. You don't remember that shit? Old enough to remember some shit. He should have forgotten more things than we remember.
They were expected to go to work.
They worked
and provide,
right,
and protect.
Yes.
I mean, and I think back about that. When I'm thinking about dad as a role model, I remember the fact that here you have a man who has MS, and he's getting up and he's going to work absolutely every day.
Right.
And he is not complaining. That's another thing. Men didn't complain.
You don't complain. You're stoic.
You were.
So wait a minute. They said Barack Obama reminds them of their dad, and their dad had MS. MS is a blood disease that basically swells up joints and arteries whenever you are in high activity. You know what I mean? It usually lies dormant in the body for a long period of time, unless triggered by something, and then it flares, like, you know, stuff behind like your like kneecap, your joints, and it'll stiffen you up. You usually have to take, like, you know, something anti-inflammatory or something like that in order to get the blood flowing again. But a lot of people have MS and it stays dormant, so they're able to stay functional and everything like that because it's dormant. You get what I'm saying? So,
love that word stoic. Coach Carmody used to use that all the time, stoic. But our dad never complained. He never got up. He had a sense of humor. That was another thing that you learned from guys, is that you needed a sense of humor. But one of the most important things that I remember is that you got along.
Got along.
You got along.
Period.
You got along with the other guys you were with. You got along with your teammates. You got along with your coworkers. Nobody wanted to be considered a jerk.
That is true. Some of the definitions of manhood, I think, were negative, right? You don't whine, you don't cry.
No emotion.
You're not a jerk. I do like the thing you brought up, though, about being a protector, because for some reason, that part of it, I think, appealed to me. And at its best, it then counterbalanced the idea of being strong, right? Like, you're strong not to pick on people, right? Not to be a bully, not to dominate others. Instead, it's strength in order to protect. And for me, a lot of being a man was being self-sufficient. The idea of I can handle myself and make my way through the world. And I tell this story. You've heard this story, and sometimes people kind of freak out. Fairly early on, because I was living in Indonesia. I'd fly from Hawaii to Indonesia on my own if I was visiting my grandparents, even at the age of 8. Yeah, and it was cool because stewardess was there. She'd grab you and put you in the seat and give you a little. If it was Pan Am, they had a little flight pin. Give you soda pop, and so I felt very grown up. I didn't mind. So I was used to traveling pretty far distances alone, and coming back from Jakarta, Indonesia, when I was at this point probably 10, maybe 11. My mother, who was working there and was about to go into the field, dropped me off. I had my little suitcase, and she gave me a hug, love you, babe, and then took off. And she was about to actually leave the city.
Didn't walk into the gate. Just that's the airport.
We were there, and come to find out, she'd forgotten to give me my passport.
Oh, wow.
So, and I didn't really kind of find this out until I'm about to go through customs. And so I'm problem solving a little bit here, and I'm thinking, okay, now Jakarta is a city of like 8 million.
Yeah, right. It's not a small area.
No, this is like being in New York or something, being in LaGuardia.
And
I want y'all to notice. This is gender reversal at its finest right here, because I want everybody to notice. Do you see how tightly fucking crossed Obama got his legs? And do you see how Michelle is sitting? Michelle's sitting like she got a dick between her legs, and this motherfucker got his shit so pinched up. There's no way his nutsack is not twisted or like this shit is. This motherfucker got his legs double crossed with his ankle showing. Huh? This motherfucker got his legs double crossed.
It doesn't look comfortable at all.
There's no fucking way he should have his thing twisted and squished up in between. That's not comfortable for a man. First of all, the pants is tight enough to be uncomfortable alone. If anytime you sit down and that much of your motherfucking ankle showing, obviously you in knickers. You wearing knickers. You know what I'm saying? High waters, right? So first of all, that you shouldn't even be comfortable sitting there with your ankle showing like that. Look at how he got his legs crossed. And look at how she got her legs crossed. She's got her legs crossed at her ankles.
Mm-hmm.
This motherfucker legs is crossed at his waist.
Yeah.
Shouldn't she be with the ones that, shouldn't she have her legs crossed? You know what I'm saying? That her shit should be kept tight like a secret. You know what I mean? He got his shit tight like a secret. Like she said, if you even let a motherfucker see the print, you better not let them motherfuckers see the print. I'm gonna beat your ass when you get home. They better not be able to see the print. That motherfucker triple crossed his legs. This shit is sad.
No cell phones.
And there are no cell phones back then and whatnot. So I'm thinking, okay, I think she had to stop by her office first before she left town. I asked the steward to leave the bag with him.
Now listen, I want y'all to understand why this is scripted and why this don't make sense. When asked questions about his father, he didn't remember anything about his father besides meeting him one time. When asked questions about his youth, he said he don't remember much. You know, he don't remember his stepdad too much, so on and so forth. Besides the fact of like sternness and everything like that, right? And then there's a lot of things that he said he don't quite remember. But I want to ask y'all this. How the fuck can somebody who say they don't remember a bunch of shit remember this story? How you remember this story? I don't remember, but this story right here, I remember. I asked it. That means somebody told you stories about your life. Your life is not real. But the story of Barack Obama is not this guy's story. He's telling you the shit he remembers from the script, basically. I remember, this is the stuff I do remember I'm supposed to tell you guys. I'm supposed to tell you guys that I was raised by my mother, that I flew back and forth from Hawaii to Indonesia. I'm not supposed to tell you that I'm Indonesian. I'm not supposed to tell you that, you know, my grandfather is fucking Adolf Hitler. You know what I'm saying? These are the things I'm not supposed to tell you. That motherfucker said, because my grandfather was white and, you know, he had different ideas back then. So I really wasn't going to my grandpa's house like that. And who else was in my life? You ain't got to tell us what the fuck a white guy was thinking back in the 70s or the motherfucking 60s. Fuck is you talking about when you was a kid? There's no way you got to tell us what the fuck white people was thinking back in the day. All you had to do was say you had a white grandfather. We know that he seen you as you know what I'm saying. We know what you mean by that shit. So we know somebody groomed him to have a great disdain for his father, and that shit never. He's looking for that attaboy. Barack Obama need a hug. Barack Obama is a prime example of a nigga that need a hug. For real, he's a prime example of a nigga that need a hug. It's a lot of niggas out there that need hugs. Y'all better start hugging these niggas. I'm telling you, if you don't want Barack Obama to come out of this, you better start hugging these niggas. These niggas need hugs. They still hurt from their father not being in the house or some shit. Like this nigga going through it. I know when I see a nigga going through it. You know what I'm saying? Look at how he's dressed. You know what I'm saying? He's up here dressed like Rico Suave. He got on khaki pants that shows his shin. He's got on loafers with no socks. Come on, man.
Go outside. There are these little rickshaw type things called betjaks. And I say, can you give me a ride to where my mom's office is? And I don't have any money, but I know if I get there, hopefully I catch her, get there. She's just about pulling out. I tell her, hey, Mom, you forgot the passport. Oh, by the way, I got this driver. We got to pay. And get back in time and make my flight. And when Michelle hears this story, right? She's horrified. And I'm sure Kelly, if she heard this story, would be horrified as well. I have to say that for me, it was like, I can handle this. Mm-hmm. And I don't remember feeling scared or worried or neglected. I just remember thinking, okay, how do I figure this out? Mm-hmm. And I felt good about the fact that I'd figured it out. And I do think that element of being a man for me was important. Now, keep in mind, my mother was 18 when she had me, right? So around this time, she's not much older than Melina. Mm-hmm. And in that sense, I think
you figured that out.
Protected towards
right?
her.
He figured that out at 10 years old without running into a gay guy. So how did he? You know what I mean?
That I needed to or should depend on her in order to make sure that I'm handling my business.
He didn't have empathy
And-
or nothing
Well,
until he
there's
ran
a-
into the gay guy.
There's a spectrum of parenting. I mean,
Right.
they label it now. There's the helicopter, and then there's the jungle parent or the freewheeling. They call it something. Free range parenting.
Free range.
Right.
Yeah, my mother was definitely in the free range
Free
category.
range category.
Love me to death.
But they are, the story you tell is the story of probably most kids.
A lot of kids.
Across the country. If, you're a single parent, you don't have somebody at home, a lot of kids are, they got to get up, make their own breakfast, find their way. They're doing that every day because there isn't an alternative.
Correct. And figuring out what that balance is.
That's exactly the point. What is the balance?
Is tough.
Which is very different from how we parented our kids, how Kelly is, and you and Kelly are parenting your younger sons now.
Part of it, don't you think part of it was also time specific in the sense that when we were coming up, the idea of kids just being out and having adventures and just getting home in time for dinners, especially during the summers, right? Part of what happened, and I maybe affected boys a little more than girls, I don't know, is that freedom, that sense of being able to build up resilience and a sense of competence and a sense of I can manage the world around me because the stakes weren't so high. When I think about kids now on the South Side, same neighborhood where you guys grew up, but the chances of possibly getting shot or the chances of some other terrible thing happening are higher. And I think that affected everybody's parenting, and it affected how we handle kids, right? So that now suddenly, instead of just saying, all right, get out of here and come back for dinner time, now it's a play date. And where are you? And do we know the parents where you're playing? And so on and so forth.
We see a good example in it in one of my favorite shows on Netflix that has become the topic of conversation amongst a lot of people, particularly in Black homes, is this series Forever, which is a beautiful story of young love in a Black neighborhood, and it is not traumatic and bad things don't happen.
It's just regular kids.
It's just regular kids that reflects all of our lives in real ways. And I know you watched some of that, and Barack, you are well aware of it. But the show has created a lot of conversation in terms of how do you raise emotionally intelligent boys and what we get right and what we get wrong.
Isn't that about a boy who falls in love with another boy?
We watched it as a family.
Forever?
We watched the whole series as a family and enjoyed it a lot.
Forever on Netflix.
It was really fun to hear the boys talk about, oh, you guys would have done that, or you guys wouldn't have done that. That was eye-opening as a parent. Because
they're evaluating.
They're evaluating our parenting, or they're evaluating their parenting based on their own.
That's the crazy thing Dad would do.
But this brings me back to Emma. Emma's trying to raise these boys, and so she's trying to be somewhere between Forever and then the other show that people are talking about, Adolescence, which I haven't watched yet, which it gets into sort of the misogyny that young boys are exposed to,
and the online,
the manosphere.
They're getting their parenting.
They're getting
online. They're getting their notions of manhood from extreme.
I'm looking. We looking it up on Netflix right now too. I gotta see.
Because
I never really heard of it.
Question. All right, Emma's trying to figure out how to raise boys. I think we did a pretty good job of raising our girls, but I've said often that I think I would have had more difficulty raising a son.
I agree.
Because I think I might have been more judgmental, harder, and I would have tried to, I like to think I would have been more self-aware enough to combat that.
Mhm.
But I just think father-son relationships, for me particularly, if I don't have a dad around to show it to me, might have been more difficult. So talk about, Craig, just how you thought about it. Was it just you took what your dad had done and you said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to try the same thing.
Were there things
Did
you
it
did
change
want to
over
do?
time?
It was a little bit of everything. What you're both saying. Initially, I thought, okay, I'm going to take what I learned from Dad, all the things that I thought were positive, and then the couple of things that I thought were negative, I was going to try and repurpose.
Right.
What were some of the positives?
Well, it's just kind of the stuff that I named before. The willingness to get up and go to work every day, taking me with him to see what it was like to have male relationships, either at work, at the barbershop. He didn't go to the gym, but in places where men hung out.
Right.
The record store, we would go to the record store every now and then, and he'd have a bunch of friends there. That sounds like an old
I know the record
idea of
store.
going to the record
Oh,
store.
it's come back.
It's come back.
Oh, it has it? Okay, good.
It's retro.
But those are some of the positive things. How to walk with mom when you're walking down the street. Always walk on the street side. And holding the door and opening the door for her, allowing her to go in. It was just things like that. And then
You don't do that with a mom. You do that with women and kids.
Something negative.
I make sure that
but,
7 is always on the
Well,
side
what
of
about,
the.
let me ask this though. I mean,
you know what I mean? Inside.
Dad
I make sure
also
you
came
on the
home,
inside. Like
put
you
his
do
feet
that
up,
as a protector, as a.
he didn't always cook, or he didn't do dishes, he didn't do.
But you have to remember that I was thinking at the time.
Yeah, that's the brother.
That was okay because he was at work all day and he needed to rest, and mom was always cooking. So, but that's a good one. That's a good potential.
But I
negative.
think about
Gender
that, like
roles,
think about that, like why would she have to ask her own brother like about their dad? You know the good qualities that dad had. You know the good. You know what I mean? Why is she like, oh yeah, what good qualities did your dad have? Like, it's our dad. You know he was a dickhead. Like, I remember him just like you remember him. Unless they wasn't in the same house together. It don't seem like they was in the same house together or something, because like she's like, dad, dad took me to what you call him, brother? Like, if I'm your brother, I'm gonna be like, yeah, dad was always taking you, to the barbershop and taking you to the record store. You know what I'm saying? If I'm the sister, that's what I'm gonna say. Like, yeah, I remember, dad would always take you here to hang out with the guys, or take you there to hang out with the guys. You know what I'm saying? The fact that they have separate memories but say that they're brother and sister is weird as fuck to me. You know what I mean? Like, if me and my sister sitting there talking about our past and how my dad was, I'm gonna be like, yeah, you remember dad was always taking me there, trying to, take me outside, throw the football with me, or doing this or do that. Like, I'm gonna talk to her like, you remember what our dad was doing. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna. It's not gonna sound like this.
Very clear gender roles. Very clear. And I thought, okay, I'm gonna do the positive things and then sort of expose Avery, who's my oldest, to less of the negative things. Mm-hmm. And you have to remember, Avery's 33, so he didn't have to worry. We didn't have to worry about social media. Mm-hmm. There was very little internet stuff. Mm-hmm. We really focused on
what? That's a lie.
Behave out in public as a guy, or I should say, how to get along, how to treat girls, how to have conversations. But with Austin and Aaron, it's more of how do you deal with social media? Yeah. And which was in Forever, the whole premise of the show. What are you supposed to say when you do
Is this a spoiler alert?
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Was a video that got leaked. So we were constantly talking to them about that. And now I have even more things to draw from because I raised Avery,
Right.
and there were some things that I was like, I wish I hadn't done that.
I could have done that better.
I could have done that better. Whether it was sort of teaching them how to drink. I mean, if you don't know how to, you could end up in a bad situation. More direct conversations about the first time you were with a woman intimately.
Do you mean sex, Craig?
I do mean sex, and it's funny how I was tiptoeing around.
Craig got a little.
I was gonna let him do it
because
too,
I
right?
feel like
I was like,
I'm on
you
television.
made me nervous. I was just like, let me just let him get through this.
But
Why the fuck is y'all so nervous when talking about having sexual intercourse or coitus with a fucking woman, but y'all telling us to let our fucking kids be around gay men? Why the fuck are you so nervous saying this, but you want us to just go ahead and have a motherfucking gay man on standby? Just in case our kid want to know about a dick. But you're gonna be like, sexual intercourse with a woman. How dare you? Don't speak about it. Oh my, no. What? Man, get the fuck out of here.
knocking out a bunch of episodes for IMO, and why don't you try the personalized guide act?
I ask because as you guys are talking about these characteristics and traits, again, a lot of it is how to behave, the external part of you. But I think what I hear that gets missed, and it was missed in you guys growing up in definitions of manhood, was the internal self.
Yes.
Right? Because all stoicism is external. Manners, common courtesy, it's all external. Protecting, it's all outward. It's
Right.
like, how do you appear? I don't want you to get arrested, so you have to behave in a certain way. I want you to be polite because I want you to be safe, right? And there's not a lot of conversation at this table about, well, how do you feel, and how are boys being taught to help sort through their internal selves? I mean, it's almost like you're supposed to pretend like you don't have an internal self, an internal emotion of hurt or fear or all the things that are natural of any human.
Not
But
saying low vibrate, hurt, fear. As a kid, you shouldn't press upon them hurt and fear and all of that shit and say that that's their internal self. You should, you know what I mean? Like, say the joy, the passion, that's the internal self that you should be speaking of, right? You shouldn't make them appease to hurt and fear. Like, you shouldn't be like, the hurt and the fear of their internal self. Like,
fears and emotions that young boys, adolescent men, grown men are feeling. But there's no talk in any of these conversations about being anyone, father present, father not, helping boys guide through that piece of it. It's almost as if we are raising boys
fear
and
is something that
pretending
they're
like
feeling.
their outward selves are the only things that matter. And therefore, who they are internally, how they process, how they deal with fear and hurt, like that. That's not even on the list of.
No, I would agree with you. It's not on.
Can I ask y'all a question? Why is she saying how they deal with fear and hurt? Like, why are you keep on talking about fear and hurt and fear and hurt and how they deal with fear and hurt and fear? Is that all we bring in young boys, is fear and hurt internally? Because I thought internally you had joys, internally you had passions, internally you had ambition, internally you had drive, internally, like, their terminology is like weird and off, like it's like an agenda. It's like saying trauma bonding is okay. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, this shit is weird.
On the list because I don't know about you, but during my upbringing, That what nobody talked about that.
Yeah. So that you couldn't even have that for yourself.
I wouldn't even known how to have it. Right.
Yeah.
I would have. I'm just trying to think about the times when I felt insecure. That's internal, or I felt fear, or I felt some sort of way. I could always go to dad and say, I'm feeling this because of something that took place.
Mm.
It wasn't, I didn't even know that I could be feeling this just inside and not manifesting itself. It was always a discussion on something it was some issue that had come up.
And so it was a problem-solving conversation.
It was always a problem-solving conversation.
Well, look, I do think that is part of the culture we grew up in. Was not that you didn't have feelings, but you ascribed them to a certain situation. You know, somebody's messing with you. You're getting bullied at school. You didn't make the team. How should you deal with this, right? And then there would be real conversations, but it very much was around, all right, stuff happens in the world and you've got to deal with it. And it goes back to the whole notion of being strong, self-reliant, don't be a baby, etc. I do think that one of the differences for me was being raised by a teen mom, and young mother, was she would talk to me a lot about how she was feeling. And in turn, I could talk to her about how I was feeling. And so I do think I developed some internal vocabulary around this. And frankly, and I know this, conforms to my nerdy reputation that my wife likes to tease me about, but books taught me a lot about it.
I'm saying that's why I hate putting it. That's why I'm sorry. I hate pushing that button because I forget to unpush it. You know what I'm saying? But he's sitting here saying like, Michelle teases me. Nigga, your wife a bully. You being picked on. For real, you being picked on. Because he's like, the first time he was like, and my wife hates when I tell this story. She hates when I tell this part. She always, makes a face when I get to this part of the story. And then he's like, me and Michelle have different views on raising the kids and how we want them to be. And, this is, I'm going to say this, even though, this is my nerdy side. And she teases me about this all the time. And your wife a bully. Your wife is a bully. Michael is a bully. Yeah. Michael is the bully. That's who the man is. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? I'm in the house but I'm the one getting teased. No, I'm the one doing the teasing. I tease you about. He must be in the house walking around like, "Hey, babe, are we gonna have quarters tonight?" I told you stop saying that. Just say, "Are we fucking or what?" Michelle in the house like, don't say Cordis. Say, are we fucking or what?
Emotions, right? Like reading and movies and TV shows, etc. But getting that sense of, oh, this is what people go through, and developing kind of an inner monologue about situations. How are other people feeling? How am I feeling? I tried to kind of piece that together, and it was imperfect. But at least there were avenues in which I could have those conversations. Craig, I am interested in what you described in terms of your relationship with your dad. So did that then carry over to how you interacted with your friends coming up? And was there a point in time where you thought, okay, when I'm dealing with Avery or Aaron or Austin, I need to maybe have a different approach. I need to share more of my emotions so that they feel like they can come to me and talk about theirs. What was that process?
So the process was this. I felt like once I had kids, I had to reevaluate everything, which included my relationships with my friends and family and work and the whole thing. And I realized when Avery was born, I needed to cut down my circle of friends to the serious ones, because I've got some serious business of raising this these kids when Leslie came along. And it was about that time that it is probably the first time where I had really deep conversations with my male friends, where you started to understand, okay, something's going on with this person. Let me find out what it is. Right. Something's going on with me. Let me share it. Right. That's the hardest part, at least for me.
One of the things you've both been good at is having male friend groups, and studies show that the rate of loneliness.
Barack Obama just said he didn't have no male friend groups. He said he was raised by his mom and his grandma.
Spaces, because it's the only place they're going to find community or to talk to one another. Can you guys talk about how you both have managed to maintain friendships? What do you think is different about the way you guys?
And why are we talking about their guy friends? Why are we not talking about their girlfriends?
But there are a lot of men out there in the world who say,
this is what I'm saying. Like, why are they not talking about like guys having female friends? You know what I mean? Why are they not saying that? Like, you know, do you guys have any female friends that you would go to for, you know, sensitivity classes, or, you know, you have other women besides your mom that you might open up to talk to about certain things? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there was younger women back then that was ready to teach motherfuckers how to kiss. You know what I mean? We had 7 minutes in heaven where you go in the closet and you do shit. You know what I mean? A woman taught me how to take a bra off. You know what I mean? She was like, some of them come with the double snap thing, and you gotta go this way and then go that way, because that's the hardest motherfucker part, is getting the bra off. You know, you could struggle when you getting the bra off. You know what I'm saying? That's like, you want to be cool. You fuck up a whole move just with how you get the bra off. You know what I mean? If you fumbling back there with the motherfucking bra, you fuck up the whole cutting. See. Before I learned how to take a bra off, right, I used to just play it off and just tell them to do it themselves. You know what I mean? Go ahead, take your bra off. You know what I'm saying? I know. That's not be a motherfucker. That's not. But then when I learned how to do it with one hand, when I learned how to take it off with one hand, when I just learned how to snap it, because I had to practice, you know, snap it, you know. Shoot, couldn't tell me nothing after that shit.
have more than a couple of friends, if that.
You know, I was in high school mostly being raised by my grandparents. And I ended up making a bunch of friends, a lot of them who were basketball players, but not all. And it wasn't until later that I realized actually they were all kids of divorced parents. So they're all being raised by single moms. It was almost like we kind of created our little tribe of found community, a found family. And you now know them all. Bobby, Titcomb, and Greg Orm, and Mike Ramos, and
I bet you if we look some people up, they got motherfuckers.
Were an opportunity for me actually to learn how to share. And what that did teach me was that having male friends I could talk to and count on was important to my life. And it turns out actually what we've learned is our families, our nuclear family was healthier and happier precisely because we had a bunch of friends. And we had, essentially.
He almost said uncle.
Aunts and uncles.
He almost said uncles. Look what he said.
That.
Look what he said. He almost said uncles, and then he said non-blood uncles. And what are you trying to say? What are you really trying to say, Barack? Like, what are you trying to say? Like, family ain't shit? Because he's not mentioning blood uncles. Usually people say, you know, blood is thicker than water. He said, you know, non-blood uncles. Who the fuck is non-blood? What's a non-blood uncle? What is that? Nah, fuck that. Because that's who your mom be introducing you to at that time, saying this is uncle. And uncle fucking.
Oh.
Back in the day, your mom, like in the early 90s, 80s and shit like that, your mom was introducing you to a bunch of guys saying, this is your uncle, this is your uncle, this is your uncle. When really, all of those people tapping your mom. Non-blood uncles. Non-blood uncles. Who the fuck is introducing you to these non-blood uncles? Mom.
Who were around all the time, right?
Non-blood uncles that was around.
Even with my close male friends, there was a phase, you know, when we were in our 30s and into our early 40s. First of all, we just didn't have that much money. So, and they were living in different places, so we couldn't see each other all the time. But we did stay in touch. And
how you didn't have that much money? You taking flights back and forth from Hawaii to Indonesia and shit like that. You on the plug, you passport kid, all of that shit. Now you thought we didn't have that much money. We were actually
figured out, and that lasted through the White House as I collected other friends and in Chicago and you know, college, and was just being intentional with your friendships, making the investment, knowing it's important, letting them know they're important to you, your friends, small gestures, all that stuff mattered. And I do think that guys sometimes don't do that. Like the idea is, all right, well, if you're around, we can hang out. If it happens, it happens. But
yeah, I know so many men who don't call each other. They don't talk on a regular basis. They're best friends. And it's like, well, I saw him 3 years ago. He's my best friend.
Right. And so I think I have gotten better about this. And, you know, one of the things that got me through the White House was that those same three friends that I knew, you know, from high school, I saw them all the time. And Bobby Titcomb became was during most of the White House was a commercial fisher. in Hawaii. And Greg Orm was managing a yogurt plant.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. I collected more friends
and Mike Ramos was an
collected them on the way.
But the sense of trust and the memories we shared, and them having our backs, and them loving our daughters, and we set up this thing. Michelle did this. One of the best gifts I ever got for my birthday was my 50th. And it was a rough time. I was getting my butt kicked in the presidency. And she organized my 50th birthday, brought all these friends from all my different walks of life to Camp David.
All my different walks of life. Brought all of these friends from all my different walks of life. What do you mean by all my different walks of life? You know what? You know what, Mr.
For a weekend. And of course, being boys, we just started competing.
It was organized competition.
And we had so much fun that we made it into an annual thing that we started calling Camp Athlon, even after it was no longer in Camp David. And, you get these, 12, 15 middle-aged men running
numbers
around,
have grown.
bowling or, playing ping pong. You've seen it.
It's quite the spectacle.
It is
It's quite the
spectacle. Yes.
But just creating some structures where guys can get together, and then in stride, in the flow, now a whole bunch of stuff is shared, talked about, etc. That turned out to be something that mattered a lot to me. But what's been your secret to maintaining your friendships? And
it's been your last point of being intentional.
Right.
And to Misha's point, I would say in the last, let's call it 7 years. So that's not long at all.
Right.
I have,
Who the
because
fuck
of
is
these
Misha?
kinds of discussions,
Who the
I have
fuck is
picked up the
Misha?
phone and called my friends more often than I had done in the past.
Right.
That is Michelle. That is Michael. Fucking stage name Misha. To Misha's point,
Sadly, many mothers are parenting alone, which is a huge problem. I think Scott Galloway, there are other researchers out there who say that one of the challenges that boys face is that there just aren't enough men in their lives. The men have disappeared, whether through divorce or fatherhood. There are small numbers of male teachers.
because y'all locked them all up.
Boys are growing up in an education system where they're mostly surrounded by women. Barack, you've talked about the fact that the entire education system isn't even designed to recognize boys and what they need. So, what do we say to Emma? Because again, we don't know whether she's parenting alone or whether she has a husband. But I do think that mothers struggle to figure out what do their sons need. And so they wind up operating out of their own fears and their own instincts, which is to love unconditionally. I think mom was like this. She raised me to be tough because I think she knew what it was like.
All right. Nah, this is fear mongering. Like they just keep on talking about, fear. The women raising men out of fear, man, shut that fear shit up. You motherfuckers ain't doing nothing. There no fear shit. Fear. Get your scary asses out of here. You wouldn't be sitting up there as a whole motherfucker if you was sitting up there, Misha, Misha, you wouldn't be sitting up there, Misha, as a whole fucking woman if there was so much fear. You motherfuckers out here living ferocious, and y'all keep on trying to tell us about fear. Fuck y'all. Hey, love is love. Namaste. I say salutations, salam, peace. I hope y'all have a great night. I'm gonna go play the game for a little bit because y'all know what it is. Look, man, be great on purpose. All right, be great on purpose.
Yes, it's
Yes,
getting
it's getting
messy.
messy.
We having
We
black
having black
tea. So won't you come and take a sip? We serving black tea. But be careful not to slip. Black tea. Taste the drama real good. Do you want some black tea? In the YT neighborhood, truth is moving on them streets, but it's caught between them lies. Who be grifting, who cheats, who be sending round them spies. Beef on top of beef all day, every day. Troublemakers put on display. Do you want some black tea? Won't you come and take a sip?